broken system, chained and tangled up in lies. Voices shouting, screaming in defeat. Politicians playing games under darkened skies. Hope lost in the dust of the street. Red and blue, colors pouring from the sky. Debates turn to anger, the crowd gets loud. Punches flying in the blink of an eye. Truth buried deep beneath the shroud. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Faces on the screen, flashing perfect teeth. But behind those eyes, just rotting greed. Politicians turn to whispers beneath. They all just get what they need. Whispering conspiracies, drowning in their lies. Echoes of freedom, lost in cries. Spin the wheel of fate, let's see who rise. But this game will bleed you dry. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive.
Thing.
Hey, everybody. It's Sunday night, so we are doing another episode of The Bullpen. We've got our usual co-hosts, all four of us now, I guess, and a
Hold
couple
on.
special
Hold on.
guests.
We need to be aware, chat. The goal today is 200 to make Mad not a co-host.
We're trying to knock him back
I
down.
had the $200. I'd donate that.
What?
I
Why?
know.
This isn't even your show. You don't.
Because it's
saying.
funny, Mad. It's funny.
I'm
So-
Brahma's rock.
Yeah, it's a very flaky rock, but it's a rock.
I was going to say more like concrete shoes, but
And we've got a guest that won't have you on their channel, Mad. That would be
been
Miss
banned.
Keri Smith is joining us again.
Hello, it's good to be back.
Good to see you.
I'm just still confused about. Yes, I did. I banned Mad from my channel.
And you're better off for it. Trust me.
Better off.
Like-
Why? What did I miss?
I
I'm
can't
kidding. I did it.
disagree. I can't disagree with that point, but still upset.
And then, of course, we've got Mikey Harlow joining us again. How are you
What's
doing,
up,
Mikey?
guys?
Good. It's good to see you again. Last time we had you both on was when you were visiting Keri.
I know. I miss you, Keri. You got to come
I
visit
miss
me
you.
here next time, and then we can pop in their show
Yes.
in Florida.
Yeah, that's been a while. That was May.
That has been a while then. Lindsay says, "Oh, hey, two of my favorite people are here.
Yay.
Me and
I
Chad."
am here. Okay.
I think
Lindsay!
Deeple's chat is super
Lindsay.
important to read, especially the last sentence.
Deeple for $5 over on the Rumble side. Hail to the stream with an actual plan for when it is going to happen, unlike a certain someone else. Here's to the best Sunday night political show hosted by Brahma and Little Chad. I wonder
had
who
me
that's
till the end.
mentioning.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who could it be?
So, yeah, we haven't talked to, well, Keri and Mikey haven't been able to talk to to our audience about their feelings on what's been going on with Charlie. And of course, we had the memorial today. We do have a few political things we can talk about towards the end of the show, but I figure this will probably be another little bit Charlie heavy episode, just because that's what's in the news. And the memorial was actually quite good. 5.5 hours long, but very good. So, Mikey, did you have? I know you have done some events. I don't know if you've done any Turning Point USA events. Were you ever involved with them?
No, I've never did a Turning Point event. I sadly never got to meet Charlie, but he's one of those people where I only ever heard positive things, as opposed to, the truth kind of comes out about all these people eventually. So he's one of those very few that seemed very genuine, and I only ever heard wonderfully positive things about him.
Yep.
As opposed to bitches like me that you'll be like, wow, that guy sucks.
We see you take all your pictures while you're out doing events, so we know what's going on in the background with you. They're all over Twitter. And Keri, anything that you want to say about Charlie before we get started that this audience maybe hasn't heard?
I watched part of the memorial service. I didn't get to watch all of it because I went to church, so I was trying to catch up on some of it after. And it's amazing what God is doing. I was blown away by how, and of course it was Christ-centered, because that's how Charlie Kirk lived his life. And it just felt like a tent revival. I know people had talked about it being a tent revival. It felt like an old-fashioned revival with some other random people in there. But for the most part, the ones I don't like. Let me just keep it on the positive. I love Frank Turek, his friend who was with him the day that he was murdered, and gave a real gospel-centered message about, like, Charlie had his eyes on eternity. Like, what have you had your eyes on? How have you been living your life? That just almost makes me want to cry. It's like bringing it back to the personal again, the way Charlie always did. And I was saying to my husband, I watch some of his stuff here and there, but there's so many different people out there. There's so many different things to watch that I never really did a huge deep dive on Charlie. I would see videos when they came across my screen. I knew he was doing good work, but it wasn't until he was assassinated that I really I took a deep dive in, and I'm like, this guy, like Mikey said, he was a good man. Like, one of the few with a huge platform who is sincere, in my opinion, and had his head on straight and had the right priorities in life, and lived the values that he spoke. And so that's why we're calling him a martyr. He is a martyr for his faith. He's lived his life according to his faith, and they took out the wrong guy. If it had been anyone else, it would not have been everything that we've seen this week. It would not have been this big. It would not have been an old-fashioned revival in there. Like, they took out the wrong guy, and they're going to learn, because one of his last, I think it was the very last interview he did the day before he died, was on some kind of entrepreneur channel. I watched that one, and at the end, they asked him, what are your favorite quotes? And he said, well, I'm a Christian and I'm not embarrassed of it. And my quotes are usually Bible quotes. And one of them was a verse from Romans. And it's that verse about how God can use everything for the good of those who love him. God can use anything, even evil, for good. And I thought that was just amazing, that, and so poignant given what happened to him the next day, this tremendous evil, and to see God working good out of it now is just like, that's the miracle. That is a miracle that I don't think we humans can fully understand how that happens, like something evil or tragic and then being used for good. So yeah, that's it.
Interesting that you bring up Frank Turek right off the bat. We can put some of these stupid conspiracy rumors to rest with that one immediately. If anybody remembers, right when it happened, I think on Comix Show, I was talking about, how everybody was pointing to the guy in the white hat. And then that was actually one of Charlie's best friends. He's the one that kind of tipped his hat right before the shot happened. Right. That was actually Frank. That was Frank Turek. I mean, that was his apologetics pastor. So that has come out. We know that. So that one can be put to rest, because all of these stupid conspiracies coming out about it has been a little bit crazy.
It's been stupid.
And Like Frank said
Yes.
tonight, he was like, you know, it doesn't even make sense. If a guy's a couple hundred yards away with his sight on the guy, why would he be looking to somebody to tip his hat to give a signal that it's okay to fire now? I mean,
It
it's
doesn't.
retarded.
Yeah. And that Charlie was like a son to him. You know, you can't
Yes.
listen to him talk and still maintain any illusions about that being anything other than a guy adjusting his hat. I'll probably adjust mine 30 times during the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's what bothers me the most though is that people are taking the people that are looking at these conspiracies, like the one with the little gun, like no one's going to see marked for death
Yeah,
with
the-
Steven Seagal, but he had one. But the problem though is that you can't say that they are conservative or that they are on our team because they wouldn't be putting all of this dumb stuff out there if they truly were, if they actually did care, because they don't. They're undermining everything with their nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't
agree.
know. I agree. And I think people always speculate on the reason why. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me why. It doesn't really matter to me if a person is undermining MAGA and trying to smear, in my opinion, smear MAGA, smear Christians, smear conservatives, if they're doing it because they're paid to or because they're a narcissistic sociopath who just wants attention and will say anything. Or because
I didn't
don't
say
care
we were
what
going to
they-
talk about Nick Fuentes, Keri.
Oh
But
no!
I-
What happened?
but I don't care what the reason is, right? Like either way, that's what they're doing. And I completely agree with what Matt Walsh said afterwards about there's no way to have unity with people who want you dead. Like
No,
so
that's
much
not
of
possible.
the left, so much of the left is just beyond. Like you can't have unity with them until and unless they wake up, they repent, they come. And I don't necessarily mean Christian repentance, although that would be the best for them. But until they change, like you can't have unity with them. But I also the one thing I disagree with what he said was the second part of what he said was about
Yes.
and that's why we must unite with everyone on the right. And I'm like, no, because there are people who put that label of right on and then behave like leftists, do things to divide MAGA, do things to smear Christians and conservatives, and they're just as much my enemy as the left. And so, no, I'm not a gullible. I'm much less gullible than I used to be. Let's put it that way. And so, it just because you're like, oh, I'm in the right wing, I'm like, I'm going to look at your fruits. The Bible tells me to look at the fruits of what you're doing. What are
Mhm.
you growing with your words, and what are you growing? Are you growing division and strife and acrimony? And in this week has just been there's been a lot of that, and yeah,
Yeah, a few
sorry, I know I'm on
specific
another
people.
rant.
But I mean, I agree with Matt's first take as well, and disagree with his second take because I mean, just because somebody claims to be of the right does not mean that they are actually working hand in hand with what we try to do. And I mean, we're specifically talking about the Groypers plus a whole bunch of other
Right.
channels that, if everything is Israel, then I mean, you've already lost me. If literally everything comes back to Israel, you've lost me immediately.
If everything
there's
is
a few of
Israel,
them
then
that are out
nothing is Israel.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
much.
how I feel about it.
And there's a few others that have just kind of been crazy over the past couple of years that I just don't want to associate with. And there's a few people that, no, I don't like all their takes, but they're overall a good to the right. So yeah, there's people I'm going to have disagreements with,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to work with them.
And we know
Or
we're
talk
still
to
on the
them.
same side, and their heart's in the right place. That's what it comes down
Yeah.
to for me. Is like your intention, and you can see intention through fruits most of the time, I think.
Yep.
Well, I mean, evil ideology is evil ideology, regardless of where it is. Like, if you look at people of the Groyper, Nick Fuentes sort of view, it really has, it gets attributed to the right, but it has a lot more in common with leftism. Its roots are fundamentally in leftism. Even that guy, Richard Spencer, the white supremacist, he endorsed Joe Biden because Joe Biden was more in line with his views than Trump was. So I'm completely with Keri that, you cannot invite the vampires in.
Well, he also believed that the reason why he backed Biden is that Biden would cause more damage to race relations.
Yeah. Glad he was wrong about that.
Yeah, let that one
Well, his
sink in.
predecessor did. I mean, probably set him back 20, 30 years at least with Obama in the office. So, yep. I do have one video that I wanted to start with just to kind of lay the setting for how the memorial service went. And chat, let us know how many of you guys actually watched the memorial service. I'm just curious because it might kind of tell me how many clips we should actually play from it so people get an actual feeling for what happened at the memorial service versus a whole bunch of people just watching the same clips we just saw. So
The only thing I know is a bunch of leftists complained about it. I was really about it.
well, then you're in for a big surprise.
I
on
know
how
what
it
this
went
bitch
today.
is gonna, what
The best
her
part
views
of this
will be.
whole goddamn thing
Yes.
is that he is not martyr material, so his death will mean nothing.
How did I know?
It will activate no one. It will impact few. It's just great.
Yeah, and then you see the crowd, and it's a giant freaking crowd.
It's 300,000 people there, millions watching at home.
My favorite is why isn't this kind of turnout for gun control or mourning the people lost at these schools? It's like, shut the fuck up. It's not the same. Stop the whataboutism bullcrap.
I still
this
don't think
bitch-
they have any idea how influential he is.
No,
No, they don't know.
clearly they are clueless.
I'm surprised that what was Westboro Baptist Church? I don't know if they're still active. I know the main guy died, but I was kind of wondering if they were going to show up or not because that's kind of
Yeah, they
they
kind
wanna
of like protest
reinvent-
everybody's funeral.
they
Yeah, it wouldn't
protested.
have surprised me at all.
Well,
They
it's funny. There's someone
they-
says I had a good chuckle at this because somebody said, "Who protests a funeral?" And I was thinking Westboro Baptist
Yeah,
Church.
Yeah.
they
So-
protested my friend's funeral when he died when we were in Iraq and we were hit. They were there, but there was a biker gang there that kept them way far away from getting anywhere near us.
I actually know people that do that.
I think they couldn't be there, the Westboro, because they went to see Ye.
Well, that's where another influencer was.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Sorry, that joke didn't land.
No, that was
It
actually
landed
funny.
for me. I laughed.
It did me too once I got it.
I was like mentally processing a concert or something else.
Kanye.
Yeah, I was going
But
to give
this-
you props
but
for
this
using
bit-
his correct name.
This bitch, oh, it's not gonna impact anyone. It's not. What's her name? Does anyone know this bitch's name? No. And we all knew
Nope.
what her fucking ideology was gonna be because you could just see the eyes are bugging. The SSR eyes give it away every single fucking time.
Yep, and the glee with which she was about to say something. And during this time, we all know what that's going to be about.
Yeah. Twat.
So it looks like there's quite a few people that watched some or all of it, and there's a bunch that haven't watched any. So we'll probably do quite a few clips in the first couple hours then, because it really did just turn into it was a church service, the whole thing,
Yeah,
and then it morphed into a Trump rally at the end.
at the end.
But yeah, it was kind of weird to have Trump actually came out as the keynote speaker after Erica, but I don't think it would have worked the other way around. So I don't know. It was an interesting call. I'm sure Erica is the one who decided that was the way it was going to go. But yeah, we had basically everybody from Trump's cabinet seated in the front row. Trump and Vance were up in a box. And then after about the halfway point, all the cabinet ended up speaking, but they all had to be behind bulletproof glass. Wonder why? And you don't
I
see
know.
that at any
Crazy.
kind of leftist gathering. So it kind of proves the point that, yeah, things are not the same for us and for the left. But we'll start with Stephen Miller. So this one's about a 2-minute clip. This will kind of give you a flavor of what the cabinet was doing, and then we'll go into a few others.
No sound.
No
looks
sound?
Like it looks like it's muted.
I'll fix it.
Oh wait, did everybody unmute the top thing?
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. I'm just retarded.
Because I did the same thing.
No, I don't think it
the
had
dark.
sound.
Now it's loud.
We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil.
Man, he's
They
bringing that
cannot
that
imagine
Princeton.
what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity. You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy. And we will devote the rest of our lives to finishing the causes for which Charlie gave his last measure of devotion. You cannot defeat us, you cannot slow us, you cannot stop us, you cannot deter us. We will carry Charlie and Erica in our heart every single day and fight that much harder because of what you did to us. You have no idea the dragon you have awakened. You have no idea how determined we will be to save this civilization.
Okay, pause
to
it.
save the West. To
They are going to clip that and use it to say that he's spreading violence.
Oh, they already have.
They
Oh,
already
yeah,
have.
really?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. That was basically it. And the other thing too, I still have a hard time believing that Charlie Kirk was born like a year after I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And that he did as much as he did in that short of a lifetime.
Yes,
It's
he's
kinda
done more in
crazy.
his 31 years than I have in my 51.
So Stephen Miller is great. I love the idea that he's there advocating for policy, keeping them focused. But the slight critique, he's never going to be the front man.
No, he's
And that's why he
bulldog.
went
He's the
early and
bulldog.
wasn't behind a bullet. He
Yeah.
wasn't behind bulletproof glass, and he went early.
This is
So.
I just want to I see people occasionally like Stephen Miller's got such a bright political future. I was like, he's never going to win elected office.
Why? Because he's bald. I am an ally of the bald community. Let me tell you.
About time
Mikey,
somebody is.
Mikey, I live in that reality every day, and I have to, and so I can
Support
be
you.
honest.
I support you.
I can be honest about what the truth of it is. Stephen Miller is a great advisor, and he is great in an appointed role. He might win at best congressman, maybe senator
He's
in
a little
red state.
lurch-like, but he can't help it. He can't help it.
No,
It's all right.
he's actually one of the
little
like,
lurch.
his background is he came from the Senate office of Sessions. And,
Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, our former attorney general who
Yeah. Who
yeah, so he was the one
recused himself.
Yeah, so it's no surprise. He was the one who drove Sessions. Sessions was famous for being very anti quote unquote immigrant. And it was because Stephen Miller was his chief policy advisor and he was driving that. And then Stephen Miller moves on to working with Trump. Stephen Miller is great regarding policy and actually doing stuff. But I do want to, for anybody who thinks, because I see it on X sometimes, and so I'm just taking this opportunity. He's great as that. He's never, like, Vance is your guy, your front man. Stephen Miller is not. Stephen, just hopefully we get successive administrations where Stephen Miller can retain high level policy and advisory roles that are just
I think he knows what he is. He knows he's the bulldog to go out there and stir stuff up,
Well, maybe next 8 years he takes Susie Wiles' position because he'd be good there.
Then we'd be able to get rid of Pam Bondi, but it's fine. Because Susie Wiles,
Pam Bondi's working hard on
besties.
getting rid of. But Pam Bondi's working hard on getting rid of Pam Bondi right now. So
Yeah.
Oh, God, she's awful.
yeah, she's been horrible. So yeah, Stephen Miller gave a just fantastic, fiery speech. I don't have as many clips of everybody else. I've got some of JD. I've got Donald Trump Jr. was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was
I missed
freaking
it. I didn't see it.
hilarious. All right, so let's do that one next because this one was absolutely fantastic.
I haven't seen this one either. So this
Who's
is
seen
good.
me on social media knows I'm far more likely to crack a joke or get myself in trouble for posting some grossly inappropriate memes than I am to shed a tear. I know this because I've even gotten the call from that guy a couple times. You know, Don, you're getting a little aggressive on social media, Don. Relax.
That's awesome.
Donald Trump doing Donald
Last
Trump.
week,
Yes,
That's
So
really
that one was.
that's brilliant.
Go ahead.
well. That's really funny if Donald Trump is having to advise you on how to be a little
Yes.
reserved on social
How to
media.
tone it down.
That it
All right, son, you're getting a little too aggressive on Twitter. I suggest you tone it down.
it's not a good comparison, but it's like when Alex Jones was interviewing Ye.
Yeah, he was
And-
like, I got to reel this one back in.
Yeah. if Alex
yeah.
Jones
Getting
is
a
like,
little out
"Hey,
of control.
Whoa, you're not saying all of them. Nope, every one of them.
Oh, wait.
Love Hitler. Nope, love them absolutely with all my heart.
Yeah, and then I think he was like, and let's talk about how a certain H thing never happened. And Alex Jones was like, and turning to other news.
It's like Nick Fuentes this week coming out and saying, "Whoa, Candace, whoa, chill with this Israel stuff."
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Yep.
so funny.
Oh, Fuentes didn't last long though.
Oh, of course
No,
not.
of course
Did
not,
you
yeah.
see? I was,
The
Just,
conciliatory statement followed by him just going right back to his usual stuff.
here, if
What
you
did he
take yours
say?
off, I'll show you. I've got it ready to.
Yeah,
add.
let me grab it. Okay, go for it. Hey, Keri, if you're able to adjust your camera at all, unfortunately, your name bar goes directly across your face.
Yeah, I was gonna try and let me fix my chair.
So
Okay.
this was he posted this today as the service is going on. This memorial is a giant, shameless political spectacle to promote the GOP, and then followed by mega church Christianity and a Republican voter drive. You know,
Is there any doubt that that's what Charlie would have wanted?
no,
I mean,
no doubt
that
at
was
all.
both
That's
of
what
his
he did.
outreaches.
That was
I mean,
that was what Turning Point USA was.
Mike,
Yes.
that was the perfect response to that. Because yeah, absolutely, you're absolutely right. That is exactly what he would want to see.
Like, I feel like if you asked him when he was still here, when you are gone, what would you like your funeral to be? He would have said megachurch Christianity and a Republican voter drive. So I think they nailed it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this is why I just I know I think we might have even talked about it last week. That I had, like, as nice as it was for everybody to be conciliatory, the one, there's like one person they absolutely need to never invite to the table, and that's Nick Fuentes. Even because I was saying that because I saw Matt Walsh and some other people like
yeah, that's what we were saying
Oh,
earlier.
complimenting the conciliatory stuff.
Ugh.
I was like, nope.
It's not conciliatory. It's just
No.
pure manipulation. And his ability to manipulate lasted what? 3 days?
And there were some people who were being, I think, a bit more naive, who were telling me, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm sure Matt Walsh doesn't mean that he's willing to reconcile with just anybody, like not like the sociopaths." And I was like, "Really?" Because the sociopaths immediately went into his comments and were like, "Hey, does that mean we can work together now?"
Yeah.
So, like they took
Hey,
it
I
as
want
a
to play.
competition. Why not? You know. So that
Yeah, I
didn't-
don't know how well that would go with Ben Shapiro, his boss.
Yeah, not very well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure that
Maybe-
HR would never have issues if Nick Fuentes was working with Ben Shapiro. That would be. I would love to see the mediation session. That would be.
Honestly, that kind of sounds like a great sitcom to have like Ben Shapiro and Nick in the same house. Like these two.
What happens when you have an
wacky-
Orthodox Jew and a
And a groiper.
and a groiper under the same roof? Hilarity ensues is what happens.
We need to get the AI people to do the argument. Nick, where just Ben Shapiro's voice is going 20 miles a minute. No, but that
Yeah.
all
Next week on which one is the amazing race.
It took me a second.
Wayne Rowe for $2. Vets talking, bro. God forgives, the brotherhood don't.
Where's Vets talking? Is he here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't see Adam.
I haven't seen him since he.
He was hitting the DMs. I was gonna respond. He's one to. Well, I'll talk. I can't. I'll talk about it off there.
now.
Right.
Do you? You've got the. I know I've got the clip ready. Which one are you going to? More Don Jr.
I've got Junior talking about Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't as enthused with this stuff as you were, but
It was funny.
Start where I know Charlie would want me to, with what was most important to him, and that was his relationship with Christ. To say Charlie knew more about the Bible than me is an understatement, folks. It's like saying Donald Trump knows more about being president than Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris. No kidding.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I just figured we'd play some of Don Trump because he was actually pretty funny throughout the whole thing. So a little bit of levity. But what do you got, Chad?
oh, I mean, I don't know if I have my favorite clip was Trump post Erica with the. Here, I'll just add it in because better to let him say it than to try to put the words in my mouth when I've got it right here.
I don't think there was a single member of the cabinet or the government that did not talk about Christ during this whole 5 hours.
In that private moment on his dying day, we find everything we need to know about who Charlie Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
That's hilarious.
I love and
And
Charlie's
that
probably
is
looking
why
down and glaring
he's
at
an
me.
Honorary Italian.
Look, he didn't talk with his hands enough to be one of us, Mikey.
He's an honorary. Whenever people talk about like forgiveness, I always think of what my mom says. That she always says, you know, I believe in everything my church says, except for love your enemy. I don't love my enemies. I hope they drink poison.
Is your mom? Is she Sicilian?
Napolitan.
So my I have
yeah,
not.
go ahead,
Can
Keri.
I say something about that clip real quick? So I didn't get
Yeah.
to the end yet because I was trying to catch up after I got home from church, and then my husband got home. He's been out on the road working, and he just got home, and he had listened to that part, like just the Trump part. So he told me about it, and he was doing the accent, and he pretty much nailed it. Where he's like, you know, Charlie said to love your enemies. I wish I could love but I hate my enemies, and I
hate
and
them.
I
They're
hate 'em.
horrible.
And what I like about him is, and I know already, I saw some people, some leftists I'm still friends with had messaged me, and I just saw the first line. I didn't open it yet, and it said something about Trump's speech at the funeral. I'm like, okay, I already know they're going to have a problem with this. Here's the thing. He is honest about this, and I love that. I appreciate the honesty. He's not up there like a fraud saying, I love my enemies. I figured this out. You know, he's telling you the truth that it's something he has not been able to do. And guess what? Most people struggle with that. And so we got to see Erica Kirk up on stage talking about Jesus's words, you know, Lord, forgive them for they know not what they do, and how she forgives this guy, this piece of crap who murdered her husband and robbed her of her husband and her kid's father, and she forgives him. So we got to see that, an example of that. And it's okay that then we see someone who's not a pastor, who is our president, a leader, up there being honest and funny and self-deprecating about how he can't love his enemies, but maybe they can fix him, you know?
Yeah.
I love that.
And we do have the clip of Erica. I figured I would make you cry towards the middle of the stream. So we were getting all the light stuff out of the way so that we could make you cry in the middle of the stream, and then we can go back to something else.
What was the Kimmel comment?
The Kimmel comment?
Chad is saying that there was a Kimmel comment, but I missed it.
Yeah, actually, we'll play that one. I've got an interesting version of that one. I've got Hassan reacting to Trump talking about influencers and Kimmel. But real quick, Southern Belle for $2. Need more bagpipes. Amazing Grace. Yep.
Do we need more bagpipes?
It's been opening Charlie's show for the last week. Every single episode is open with Amazing Grace on the bagpipes. So we've had a bit of it. So Hassan actually looks a bit shocked at this. I think he's feigning all of it, but he should probably be worried.
Well, yeah, I mean, his ass is going to be dragged before Congress, but all the major platforms that have been associated with Tyler Robinson, their CEOs are being dragged before Congress. One of them is the guy that's in charge of Twitch, where Hassan goes and streams a lot on, and basically has said some pretty violent shit and has not been banned. And those are going to be some very hard questions for the CEO of Twitch.
And that will be a specific question about why Hassan has not been banned.
Yeah.
I guarantee that will be one of the first questions.
He has violated terms of service
that.
multiple times. And as has been pointed out, he only gets banned or he can't stream when
on the days, he takes off
where
anyway.
he can't stream. Yeah.
24 hours on Sundays when he doesn't stream anyway, his day off.
Yeah.
So, but here's Trump calling out influencers.
Not hearing anything, and I'm not muted this time.
Oh, dang it. You know what it is? It's every time I have to prepare a clip, it starts auto playing, so I mute the soundboard, and then I forget to unmute it when I hit play. So, here.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
And then he just will add on, Charlie loved it when I did this stuff over and over again.
Influencers and others in our society who greeted his assassination with sick approval, excuses, or even jubilation. You've heard that. So have I. Couldn't believe it.
He's coming
Some of
after
the very
influencers.
same people who spent the last 8 years trying to sit in moral judgment of anyone who disagreed with them about politics suddenly started cheering for a murder. Incredible. You know the names. They're major losers, by the way. That will be proven out in a short period of time. Some of the very people who call you a hater for using the wrong pronoun were filled with glee at the killing of a father with 2 beautiful young children. And the same commentators who this week are screaming fascism over a canceled late-night TV show where the anchor had no talent and no ratings. Last week we're implying that Charlie Kirk deserved what happened to him. No side in American politics has a monopoly on disturbed or misguided people.
God.
But there's one part of our political community which believes they have a monopoly on truth, goodness, and virtue, and concludes they have also a monopoly on power, thought, and speech.
I love Donald Trump, Mr. President. I love you so much.
That's not happening anymore. We've turned that corner very quickly. Tragically, atrocities of this kind, and kind that we saw in Utah, of all places, are the eventual consequence of that kind of thinking.
Oh, God.
If speech is violence, then some are
I think we're good. I
bound
think
to
we're good. I think
conclude
we're
that
good.
violence is
We might be
justified.
safe.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that was a way to show some of Trump's speech while also, watching Hassan start to freak out a little bit. Like I said, don't believe any of it's genuine, but he's in trouble.
I mean, YouTube's already getting ready for that, testifying by demonetizing Destiny
Yep.
You know, like as soon as they got that subpoena.
Yeah, and he said some really vile shit, so he honestly deserved it.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
He's the actual like the mirror, like the inverse of Charlie Kirk. Here is a man who has failed at every important thing, meaningful thing, legacy thing, who's has not parented his son, who has not protected a marriage, whose son is now a groyper, white nationalist to get as
Oh,
far
I
away
think
from
you're
his
thinking
dad.
Destiny.
Oh, that is who I'm thinking. Who are we
Yeah,
talking
Oh,
yeah.
I think
about?
that was muted.
Hassan
No, yeah,
Piker.
yeah. Well, I mentioned
Oh.
Cenk Uyghur's-
Destiny, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the reason why.
Yeah, because he
he
mentioned
went
Destiny.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know as much about Piker, but I know Destiny's been foul about this, and he just seems to be
Oh.
getting more and more demonic and sick.
It seems like he's trying to. I mean,
Yeah.
he really is like nihilism personified because he's like
Bringing up his tweet today.
trying to
Yep.
destroy his life. It seems like he's going out of his way to destroy everything in his life.
Oh, he's definitely self-destructive. You can tell
I
by
mean-
the amount of amphetamines and meth that he uses.
I would say you
Whenever
could
see
tell
him
by the
speak-
amount of people he let.
You see him
No, I was-
talking about that?
No, I was going to say
No,
you
wait,
could probably
what?
tell by the amount of people he let bang his wife while he was streaming.
If you ever watch him speak, you'll see his jaw doing the meth jaw thing where it
The
goes like back and
disconnect.
forth. Yeah,
Mhm.
like it'll just move back and forth a lot.
Well, he said he had like DMs leaked or something, and he talked about his shriveled up 1-inch dick. His words, not mine, while he does meth. No wonder his wife
Oh, I
was a
didn't know that.
whore, and she's fucking people, and he's there, and she's fucking people, and then she leaves him, and she's fucking more people. Like, there's nobody on this earth I would want to be less than Destiny.
Oh, tell me about it. Oof. I mean, that's if you're feeling down and you're like, oh my god, my life is shit. Just look at Destiny and you'll feel so much better.
Yeah. Chad brought up that tweet that he put out today about it being close to a Nazi rally.
Yeah.
I can't remember who reposted it, but or quote posted it, but they said, I have never seen anybody more desperate to try to become a martyr than Destiny.
Yep. The worst thing you can do to Destiny is let him live.
Yeah, his life is pretty bad.
Well, he's
Yeah.
already in. What did Matt Walsh say about Keith Olbermann the other day, which is true, which is that your life is hell on earth. Like you are already in hell.
Yeah.
And I think that unfortunately applies to a lot of people. And from a Christian perspective, it definitely applies. We believe until you're not born again, that you don't have the breath of life, that you're kind of like, but if for some people it's much more, I guess, so pronounced than others. Keith Olbermann being one of them. Just people who are just so miserable. Like,
Yeah.
just
Well, the one thing I
completely-
thought was pretty funny was James Lindsay retweeting Destiny saying, and this is James Lindsay of all people too. He's like, yeah, I've studied a lot about Nazism. This isn't it.
yeah.
That shit was
Yeah,
hilarious.
he's been reading a lot about it this year, and yeah, this rally is not. There's like journalists and stuff saying this now too, that it's like a Nazi, that it
Well,
was a Nazi
they're
rally.
fucking desperate. I mean,
Well-
they're desperate at this point. I mean, just all you have to do is look at Twitter and all the mainstream leftists freaking out over this shit. You know, I brought up the whole thing with why aren't they doing this whenever there's a mass shooting at a school? Blah blah blah. It's like this is them reeling because they know they're losing. They're desperately trying to find stuff, whether it's calling it fascism because of the whole shit with Kimmel, even though the government had nothing to do with that and had everything to do with the affiliates and the sponsors and whatnot. They're desperately trying to find something that will stick, and it's not. They even tried dragging up Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, so
all
Comix
people.
per Southern Belle with her $2 support chat. Elon and Trump reunited in feelings ago. This is one of the things that set them off and is making them go so hardcore because they really, really don't like the idea of Turning Point USA, Donald Trump, Elon, all united, spending money on elections and voter drives. And because the dirty little secret on why, and we talked about it last week, why they were actually really targeting metaphorically and then eventually reality, Charlie Kirk, was he did the entire get out the vote operation
Yep.
for Donald Trump because the Republican National Committee is absolute dog shit at that. They have been forever. The reason that they were so effective in 2024 is Donald Trump Jr., Laura Trump, everybody else convinced, Trump to effectively seed that entire operation to Turning Point. And they ended up winning every swing state as a result.
Yes.
And they had more youthful males register Republican than any time in history.
That is insane.
There was something you were saying. Oh, I was going to bring up, I mean, this is not the first time that they've done this. Remember the Madison Square Garden rally was, this is Nazi propaganda. I mean, it's literally every time anybody does anything on the right, it's Nazi propaganda. And they can't help themselves, even though we've been pointing out, this is the reason you guys have radicalized people into shooters and taken it to the assassination culture.
Yep.
You keep calling people Nazis and Hitler. What do you expect your people to do?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, if you keep calling people fascists, Nazis, whatever, eventually someone's going to go and stand up and say, well, I'm going to stop the next Hitler. And you get something like what happened to Charlie Kirk as a result of that. And as much as I'm for free speech, there's so much stuff out there that really kind of skirts that line. Like Tim Pool has pointed out, it's like one person will say, we should, punch Nazis. And then the second person saying next to him, hey, look, a Nazi. And you know exactly what they're implying. And to me, that is incitement to violence. Even though it's multiple people that are involved in it, it's like that's not free speech. That is literally incitement to violence, which is not free speech.
Yep. And this is why this is the famous meme, right? Like everyone I don't like is Hitler. And that's what they're trying to operate under, is that we're going to and Keri knows about this from, I think you've talked about it quite eloquently about that's the operation to dehumanize, separate, and make it something you can, because there's a famous, philosophical question, like if you go back in time,
would you strangle
would you strangle baby Hitler, right? To say, because by doing so you would, and as a result, save all those lives, right? And
the counter to that is you don't know what worse thing could have happened if you remove him.
No, the moral counter is actually that at that point that is an innocent child, and you have no moral standing to kill an innocent child who has done nothing.
Who has done nothing.
And,
You're correct.
But most people, if you ever poll that question, it's like 90-10. Like even people who understand fundamentally the moral wrongness of doing it still support it. Because, and I remember talking on a pop culture show a long time ago about like why, and this is like Indiana Jones, why Nazis were the perfect villain. You don't have to do any, you don't have to do anything to make people okay with killing them or doing anything to them.
No extra added characterization.
You just put them in that uniform, and everybody universally is like, yeah, do what you want. Throw them out a plane, do whatever. If you're Indiana Jones, pop them into a propeller. He had it coming. And that's where we're at. Like they co-opted something that was from the Greatest Generation, right? Our only moral war, right? That was one of the things about World War II. If you look at it, it was the only war where we were completely quote unquote righteous in doing it. And they took what was American myth about the moral war and are using that as the moral backdrop to make people hate someone they disagree with.
Right.
Go ahead.
And while they're doing it, they are behaving like fascists. Like they are behaving more like the Nazis they think they're decrying than the people they're falsely accusing.
Fascism is effectively socialism that's more well-funded.
Yeah.
That's a lot of my issues with when people use the word fascism. It's like it gets used very, very, very improperly used.
What does Nazi actually mean?
National Socialist Party.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too is that what it really comes down to is with fascism. We've talked about it multiple times. Is when you have government and corporations in cahoots together, and usually at the detriment of the governed. A really good example of this fascism in the United States that, of course, the left never brings up was when we found out that Twitter and Facebook were having people, agents of the state, communicating with them saying, go and ban these people, stop this type of speech. That is literal fascism. Okay. And that
And
happened under
much worse
Biden.
than the Kimmel situation.
Yeah, that was way
Yes.
worse than Kimmel's substitute. I mean, and it was probably going on under Trump as well, but not at Trump's behest. But we know that the Biden administration told Facebook, ban this stuff, ban this
Twitter.
speech, ban these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Twitter. Yeah.
And
I mean,
YouTube.
they had a former CIA agent working at Twitter at the time.
Here's the problem. Most people I talk to don't even know what fascism means. They don't have a basic understanding. They can't define terms they're using. And this is a failing of our education system.
Well, they
You
really
know,
mean authoritarian is
they-
what it comes down to.
They do.
They mean whatever the people in the TV tell them to mean.
Yes. I mean,
Right. Well, because even
Yeah.
they don't use it right either. I mean,
No,
in
the
most
comics. I'm going to stop you there. They don't mean authoritarian. They mean people I disagree with.
well, yeah.
There's no context where they're actually they will. So the end result is that you're an authoritarian. So I'm justified in doing whatever I need to remove you from the from the game. But the starting point is you said something that I don't like. And it doesn't matter what your point is. Like, we've got Charlie Kirk, who's they call him, they've already started, like Elon Omar and all these other people who are trying to libel him post-mortem.
Racist.
It's like he's a racist, and because what is the stuff they're taking out of quote, like out of context is like
Black women
he's-
don't have the
he's-
intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When what he was commenting on, and in the full context, was that affirmative action, if forced on a company in business, will cause the customers to rightly believe and question the person I'm seeing. Are they there because they're qualified, or are they there because they have to fit a quota? And
same
that is
things
not
we've
good.
said.
Yep.
And that, because it's a perfectly rational explanation. I mean,
And he
Chief
was talking
Justice-
about specific women that claimed that they were in their positions because of affirmative
Yeah.
action. Joy Reid.
Joy Reid.
Yeah. She
Well, they
flat out
pretend to
said,
not
that's the
understand
only
the
reason I
difference."
got into college.
I mean, well, you've got to give credit for Elon Omar for coming up with a new way of affirmative action, which is marrying your brother.
Well, the funny thing is they want to go and say, oh, how racist that is, when it was actually a left-leaning newspaper that reported that. I think it was like was it the Minneapolis Star or something like that? But it was actually a left-leaning newspaper that broke that story.
Right. Yeah.
I want to say something about this subject of them calling everyone Nazis. Also, is something I've been thinking about a lot more lately, and especially in the past week. Is there are some people who are still loosely on the left. Yes, I know, even at this late stage, who are still there, who I think can be reached. And that's kind of what I try to do with Deprogram. And there are some that I know in my real life who have been having conversations with me, mostly on Facebook. That's where a lot of the leftists are in the past week, and
Boomer.
they don't. They don't know anything.
Couldn't they at least message you on Instagram?
Right. They don't know anything about what's happening in the world. They think of themselves as very well informed and very intelligent, and like one of them is, he majored in Marxism, or like I know about philosophy and I know this, right? But they don't know anything that's happening. And when I try to talk to them about this, and I know that some of these you guys will have to take my word on this. I think they have good hearts, some of these people. And I try to tell them, you are not helping, because there are actual white nationalists out there and people who are pushing that tyranny is the answer now. We need to get rid of the Constitution and stuff, and who are claiming to be on the right. And they are recruiting disaffected young men, and you don't even know their names because you are too busy running around incorrectly calling anyone who's not a woke leftist commie a fascist. You are too busy incorrectly calling Trump a fascist, incorrectly calling Charlie Kirk a fascist, incorrectly calling me a fascist. So you're not of any help. And I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this in the right way to get their attention. Because I think for some of them, this might be the piece that helps to wake them up. It's like, look, I am agreeing with you that there are people who have the beliefs that you think you're fighting. It's just that they don't have that much power. They are starting to grow a little bit online, but they're sort of
And a
still on the
lot of that
fringe.
is honestly thanks to the left, right?
Yeah.
They
Because of
literally got what they wanted. They
Yes.
wanted more racists in this country, and they've done this by talking shit about white people, talking shit about
Yes.
white men, denigrating those groups, and
The
so now you have a
patriarchy.
generation of people that basically don't give a shit, and they basically created the very problem that they've been wanting.
And that's what I told them, Comix. I said, one of these guys, I was talking with him, and I said, look, these young men are going to be called a Nazi by people like you anyway. And so you are you're making it a very seductive,
Yeah, if I'm going to get labeled that, I might as well just become that.
because you're calling them that anyway. And here's the thing, by the time you guys figure out any of these Nazi sympathizer influencers' names and start correctly identifying the problem, by the time you realize it and you jump on the bandwagon, you start also saying, hey, Nick Fuentes is okay. Nobody gives a shit what you think or what you say, because you've proven yourself to be someone who calls everyone that. And so nobody cares. You basically, I'm trying to get the point across to them. Like, you are completely ineffective in what you think you're fighting, and you're going to remain ineffective unless you realize what it is that you've done. Like, and I don't know if that's going to be successful or not, because that's a hard pill to swallow. Like, you did this. Like,
Well, and the good thing is, I mean, this is how I was actually going to close the show tonight, was a thought about Erica, but it fits in here pretty well. I mean, Charlie did for the male youth of America, and some female, a huge service. He pulled them to the right, and he pulled them to God. Now Erica has the chance to take the same platform and try to bring the female youth of America back to God and back to the right. Because I don't know
That's
if
a
you guys
tougher
have heard.
task.
I wouldn't.
It is
bother
a
with
tougher
that.
task, but I don't know if you guys have heard, but everybody at TPUSA was far more scared of Erica because she's far more conservative than Charlie ever was,
Oh, really?
and far more outspoken.
Yep.
So I mean, not only did they create a martyr out of the husband, but they created a lioness out of the wife.
Yeah.
And she said today, we're doing the college campus tours. It's not going to stop. So they've awakened a monster there, from their point of view, at least. So I hope that she is able to reach the youth, the female youth, because really, I mean, it's typically the women vote has been a problem for the Republican side. Unless they're married.
I'm going to disagree, and I think Keri will get where I'm going with this. The tactics specifically Kirk and Turning Point USA make regarding having the debates and coming back with the logical facts, etc., like specifically plays to male thinking and does not play at all to female thinking.
No, they have an emotional base.
You need an emotional hook.
Sure.
And as great as Erica is and all this other, it's not as, like, going to a college campus and doing that format is not designed to capture female minds at all and won't be very effective.
Yeah, but I'm sure she'll introduce so many new things that will.
Yeah, I don't know how because, and maybe I'd like to see Keri's thought on it, because with females, you've got to, my experience at least, is it's got to be very specific and usually a one-on-one start to get them on the journey. Like, you can't, if you put them into a group setting where it's very high pressure, you're going to get the double down. You're not going to get the, like, awakening. I don't know. Maybe that's just
we'll see, because there is an emotional hook. She just had her husband killed, and she's got 2 small children. I mean, that may be enough. Go ahead,
You're
Keri,
trying
sorry.
to talk to women who are programmed right now to think having children is the worst thing that could happen in their lives.
Yeah.
Which is where she can be an example.
But you got to work. I mean, you got to meet people where they're at and talking to women is very different politically. And again, that's why I want Keri to kind of speak on it.
Well, let's let her talk.
well, first of all, I'm one of the women who's on the outlier then, because I do enjoy, obviously I enjoy debate and discussion. I wouldn't be here with you guys if I didn't. And I know that makes me somewhat unusual, but there are a lot of women who do on these at these college tours, and if you watch him, people coming up to the mic to challenge him, there are a lot of these millennial feminists who completely have everything upside down, who challenge him on a whole host of topics that they consider to be women's topics, like abortion, and he always handled them so well, and with love, and with this sort of well wishing them well. Um, I think as far as the tours, I don't know who is going out on the road to be leading these. I don't know if Erica intends to do that herself. I didn't get the impression she was doing
I
that
don't think
herself.
so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're gonna be some young people who rise to the occasion, who start doing these in different cities, and maybe there will be someone else as charismatic as him, who as skilled as he was in all these different areas, who rises. I don't know, but I think those things will continue. But she started talking about other things. I mean, she was talking about Turning Point Faith as well. So who knows what they're going to be doing with Turning Point Faith? But if you wanted to create something new that's like more aimed at women, I mean, I guess you could go to colleges and hold knitting circles. I'm kind of joking, but not really. Like something
No,
that's like
that actually makes a lot of sense.
women sitting and crafting and talking about, and maybe you have a camera and they're like at the Prove Me Wrong events also, but it's a camera more about like a women only space with women sitting and dialoguing and disagreeing, but making something or crafting. Like bring your craft and have a discussion with Erica Kirk kind of thing. I could see her doing something like that. I don't know if that answered your question, but
Will Erica's female-centric leadership events further turn off men? Guys already think they aren't seeing leaders, and now we're talking about chasing female votes instead of guys.
I don't think it has to be one or the other. I think it'll be both.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they will continue the mission that they were on, and they will have people going out and doing these events. And then I think Erica will bring a separate side to it.
Yeah.
Probably that would have happened eventually anyway.
Smart people involved. They're not going to just pull like Disney Star Wars on Turning Point.
Right.
Charlie,
no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with actually.
Turning Point is female now.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with gearing something for women, right? The issue I think most of us have is when you suddenly have something that was a traditionally male space, and suddenly they're pressured to have women involved. I mean, just look what happened to the Boy Scouts of America. I mean, now it's co-ed, and it's like, well, you had something already called Explorer Scouts. Why do you need to bring girls into the Boy Scouts?
They had something already, Comix. It was called Girl Scouts.
Well, yeah, I wasn't getting that as well, but the reason why I think a lot of
they don't let boys into Girl Scouts.
Yeah, I know. But I know that a lot of conservatives don't want their girls going to Girl Scouts because it has been infested with feminism as well.
I don't want to do it because I don't want to buy the goddamn cookies.
Yeah. So
they're overrated. They're not that good.
Girl Scouts are the first entry-level point of multi-level marketing schemes. Because those Girl Scouts can sell like cases and cases of cookies
to Mary Kay.
And you know what they make? Like $12. Here's your $12. I mean, it's like mad. You get sucked into the multi-level marketing schemes.
Then, yeah, dude. You get in
next thing you know, you're in St. Louis and bad things are happening.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
Matt has bad experiences with multi-level marketing schemes twice because once it was ending up in St. Louis and once was not getting the T-shirt he was promised.
Is the Army a multi-level marketing?
Yes, it is. Only the generals get paid. You only get paid. You think about it. The Army is the pure thing because you have all those non-coms going from private corporal specialists all the way up, and the pay and the respect and all the prestige only flows up. And you can, the more people you have doing stuff for you, the more you get paid. It is multi-level marketing.
Real quick, Copy Kitty gifted 5 Brahma Bowl memberships, and those went to Abomination AJ Reichenite, who is at the memorial today. Reichen, if you're still out there, let us know kind of how packed it was, how many people were outside, because I know we filled up this stadium. They also filled up the basketball arena next door as the overflow, and there were still people, is what we've been hearing. Penny got one, Punk Waddle got one, and Vets Talking got one. So
Vets talking.
Real quick. Oh, is Adam in here? Real quick. Before we move on,
no,
I
you
wanted
don't
to
have
talk
to be here to get one. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I wanted to talk about the reaching out to female people or whatever you call them.
Matt is
And,
known for having such a great female audience.
So
Where-
the
What do they call us? The over rehabbers?
yeah, those.
The birthing persons.
Birthing persons.
Yeah.
Hold on, Matt. I really want to get everybody get quiet. Matt is going to tell us how to reach out to the female demographic.
Yeah, it's perception versus perspective, right? You have to have perspective on what their perception is. That's how you reach them on their level, like what you were kind of saying, right? You have to understand the way they perceive the world before you can ever really approach them to talk to them. Because if you come from your own perception rather than having that more broad perspective, then you're not going to reach anyone.
Speaking of that, I have a great example of a person working for Homeland Security reaching a woman where she was at and helping her understand the reality of the situation. This is Democratic congressional candidate in Illinois trying to stop ICE from going out and driving. And Mad,
FAFO.
as a experienced law enforcement officer, you might appreciate what you're about to see.
It's pretty funny.
She decided to get in the way of an ICE vehicle that was trying to exit, and they cleared her from the path.
As they should.
Laid
As
hands
they
on
should.
the officer.
Yep.
If
And
you
so-
think, go ahead. Sorry.
I was like, and she's trying to make hay of it in her congressional campaign.
Well, she's going to use it for red meat for her base, right? I mean, this is exactly what she needs. She got the soundbite she needs to go and rally the troops to go and vote for her. I'm going to go fight fascists.
All right, go ahead, Keri. I want to hear what you were going to say.
Oh, I just, all this doom and gloom that the leftists are trying to spin. I saw Rolling Stone. They're all talking about, Trump is using Charlie Kirk's murder to usher in authoritarian, all the same old stuff, which again, it's
God
boy who
willing.
cried wolf and nobody cares. But here's my thought about a lot of the changes. Good. It's far time. It's that we actually enforce consequences for illegal behavior and for behavior that puts others at risk or stops people from doing their jobs. If you are getting in front of an ICE truck, like you should be actually arrested, in my opinion. If you're out here, the people that are destroying the Charlie Kirk memorials, who are defacing statues and monuments and murals, arrest them. It's not that kind of behavior doesn't stop until people see that there are consequences for it.
Yeah,
And
and what they're doing is literally it's vandalism, so they should be arrested for it. They
should.
actually are breaking the law.
Yes. And it starts
We
small.
need
It's
to
the whole
model
growth.
it a little bit after Florida and DeSantis. If you get into traffic and try to stop traffic, good luck.
Yes.
Because DeSantis they're not going to be prosecuting the driver who gets surrounded by a whole bunch of crazy ass protesters. So,
Yeah.
sorry, Keri, keep going.
No, I'm done. I've ranted enough, but I'm happy. I'm excited to see that. They should be putting up a Charlie Kirk memorial in every city, put a camera on it, and just use it as like a fly trap for a while where you're just catching all these flies.
Litmus test.
like a bait memorial, like they do with bait cars.
Yes. Just arrest every single one of them that comes up to deface it.
Well, one of the things that they were saying about the event tonight was it was such an abomination that they would be doing a registration drive for the Republican Party, getting people registered to vote at a memorial. And I saw a few X accounts saying it, and it's like,
I know Katie Hobbs
saying that
is
it was
particularly
gross.
worried about it.
yeah, saying that it was gross and ridiculous. And it's like, I'd like to remind everybody that at the DNC, they had freaking abortion buses so you could get abortions while visiting the DNC.
Well,
I mean,
and again, it's not like the Democrats wouldn't have done the same thing. They're just mad
Well,
that the
no,
Republicans
no,
put
they
it forward
have.
first.
I bring up the name Paul Wellstone for people who are old enough to remember, if Brahma remembers that situation.
I don't recall, and you may need to refresh the memory.
All right, so Paul Wellstone was a senator from Minnesota who tragically died in a plane crash. And so it was during a re-election campaign. I think it was against Norm Coleman, who was the former governor of Minnesota. And they turned his memorial service into a full-on campaign rally.
Yeah.
Far harsher than what we saw today.
Who was
I mean,
this?
Paul Wellstone.
Oh, right.
I believe it was under Barack Obama, I think, was president at the time.
Right.
And it got into, and it was I think the overall, even CNN at the time was commenting about how grossly inappropriate given the circumstance it was. He wasn't assassinated for speaking. His plane crashed. It was a pure accidental kind of thing. And they turned it in, instead of celebrating and memorializing Paul Wellstone, it became just a full-on rally against Republicans running for Senate. So I can point to an exact example of a memorial service for, in this case, a senator who was in re-election who died, where they did the exact thing. They were registering voters. They had political figures coming up giving purely political, spiteful speeches, and it was most of the mainstream media didn't even, like MSNBC obviously thought it was fine. CNN was like, this is kind of going over the line. Obviously, Fox News was on
Back
the
when
very
CNN
other,
was still pretending to be centrist.
Correct. So if anybody wants to, you can still find the clips. I might even, maybe I'll look one up while we're, discussing it. But Paul, to act like this is new, everything, it's interesting if I won't bring up the Ottoman Empire, but everything has happened before. It's not new. It's just, it's a variation. Like, what is it, the George Lucas quote? It doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We've had campaigns that have been hateful and spiteful, and they talk about these, like the Trump campaigns are the most hateful. And it's like, no, did you ever see the Willie Horton ad in 1988? George H.W. Bush basically said, if you vote for Michael Dukakis, a convict will come over to your house and rape your wife. And you think that somehow that is...
And now the Democrats are running the same ads last year.
He's kind of right. Sorry, by the way, I needed snacks.
And Mikey got his camera working. I was going to say, at least when it froze in such a dignified pose.
Sure.
Darren M. for 10 Canadian. Brahma, the panel, and all watching, bless you. Thanks for the show tonight, Brahmable. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
Yeah. You guys want to do a few more clips?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Go for it.
I've got JD Vance getting ready to talk about his faith. And I'm betting I didn't unmute it on the soundboard.
Nope, you didn't.
Of course I didn't. Sooner or later, I'll remember before I hit play.
I always felt a little uncomfortable talking about my faith in public, as much as I loved the Lord and as much as it was an important part of my life. I have talked more about Jesus Christ in the past 2 weeks than I have my entire time in public life.
Something interesting that I noticed, it's just a short clip, but something interesting that I noticed, out of the biggest pops today, which sounds weird for a memorial service, but with all of these rock stars of the right there, JD Vance got probably the biggest pop next to maybe Trump and Erica herself. For all the people saying... Yeah, for all the people on the left trying to say, yeah, nobody actually likes J.D. Vance and Gavin Newsom is going to beat him by 8 points.
I like Gavin. I mean, not Gavin.
Not gonna
sorry.
happen.
I like JD.
I don't know of anybody who doesn't like JD at the moment.
They need to lock down their H-1B correction to really help JD Vance, because that rollout is breaking down really fast, because it was super popular what they announced. And
then it went from annual to a one-time
fee, and it's not going to apply to any. That's a weak point for JD, and it's exploitable because he is a tech bro in origin in terms of finance. He was in with Peter Thiel. He was also involved with Palantir, which is a surveillance state on steroids company, which if you look at their stock, it's going through the roof because they're going to be integrating with the Real ID system to be able to know where you're at all times, starting as soon as that is rolled out in full. So I think JD Vance is right now the front runner, but he's got some things he needs to lock down that are vulnerabilities where somebody like Marco Rubio, who's been doing 18 bazillion jobs in the administration very effectively to what MAGA wants, could attack him on that as a weak point of I'm going to actually do that. And I'm not going to, say that it's fair, but it is going to be something that the people will use against him if running. It will be not done, and they'll do it without fingerprints because they'll do it through unknown third parties. They're going to point out that he's married to an Indian wife, and that's why he won't take the steps to actually lock down the H-1B system, because it disproportionately, I think it's 70+% of H-1B visas go to Indian origin nationals. And it's trillions of dollars over decades being swept out of the American economy into India's. And I don't think it's necessarily fair, but I am telling you, it is a legitimate point that people will be attacked if in an open primary against him.
And if they don't get it fixed, that when he goes on to a show like Kamala Harris did, and they ask, "Is there anything that you disagreed with your with Joe Biden on?" That's something where JD would actually maybe have an answer, because he has spoken on it and said that he completely disagrees with the H-1B visa as it stands right now as well. He said it maybe a month and a half ago. I think we covered it on here, but he's kind of turned around and is at least speaking that he's seen the light on that. So we'll see. But JD got a huge pop. People really do like him. Deeple for $1 posted some memes, tried to select only the best since we have guests on the show tonight. Vance still scares me for 28, but he is likely the best MAGA candidate we have. I fear he's a rhino, though. I think he went through a full conversion from where he was during Trump's first term to now. Mm-hmm. And he actually communicates Trump's policy better than Trump most of the time. Trump, I mean, as far as like laying it out in a logical way, whereas Trump just talks the way Trump talks. So,
but he's another one who's like little lurch in the background, like great, wonderful. He's not the front man. I think JD Vance is going to be a great front man.
Yeah. So I don't know if Keri stepped away. I was going to play the clip that was going to make her cry, so we may have to wait for her.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah, she stepped away. So, Chad, do you got any other clips or anything you want to bring up about this specifically?
Oh, about
the memorial before we step away from the memorial?
Yeah, I think I've got... Well, I've got the one with Van Jones, getting emotional when he realized Charlie Kirk had sent him a message.
Yeah, you could do that one.
Yeah. Wow, after he went full shit on Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's it's what they do. He still wasn't really that good about it, but all right.
The story begins when a Ukrainian woman was fatally stabbed last month in North Carolina. The suspect is a black man, and Charlie Kirk and Van got into a public sparring.
This is, clearly because Van Jones didn't want to acknowledge the gruesomeness of that crime. We've talked about that one.
Match online. Kirk claimed the murder happened because she was white. Van denounced that as completely unfounded. Kirk then said,
they have him on audio recording saying, "I got that white,
that white girl,
white bitch."
Yeah. And then they also have him laying groundwork for what might have been a defense with telling another person she called me the N-word when there's, she didn't even look
she
at him.
Know he's there.
Didn't even know about it. So anyway,
out what Van calls a fire hose of tweets challenging his argument, which Van says sparked death threats against him. In the midst of all of this, Kirk reached out to Van in a direct message on X. "Hey Van, I mean it. I'd love to have you on my show to have a respectful conversation about crime and race. I would be a gentleman, as I know you would be as well. We can disagree about the issues agreeably." Now, that message was sent on September 9th. Van says he did not see it until the very next day after Kirk was murdered. Van Jones just wrote a piece about this for CNN.com and is here tonight. This is extraordinary. So this was received the day before he was killed.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we were beefing. I don't know. We were going at it online, on air, and then after he died, after he was murdered, my team called and said, Van, he was trying to reach you, man. What? And what was he doing? Dialogue. Let's be gentlemen together. He says, let's disagree agreeably. So I'm sitting on this and I'm watching the whole country talk about civil war, censorship.
All right, I'm going to read between the lines. The reason he's doing this think piece and this is because for the first time in my lifetime, the right is effectively using the apparatus and tools of the left to take them down. And so he's trying to now, and this is, look for it, he's co-opting Kirk's memory to try to get the Republicans, conservatives, whatever, to unilaterally disarm in the context of it. Charlie wouldn't have wanted this.
Yeah, I figured it was probably more performative than anything else.
Murder about this guy? This guy is reaching out to his mortal enemy.
Did you hear what he just said? He described himself as Charlie Kirk's mortal enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, if you want the actual insight into Van Jones' mind, that's what it is right there. Charlie Kirk, because they were disagreeing about why this girl was murdered, was his mortal enemy, as in, I need to kill you to achieve victory. That's his real mind. That's where he's really at.
Saying we need to be gentlemen, sit down together and disagree agreeably. And the next day he's killed. And I've sat on it long enough and I just said, you know what? We're going to Memorial Weekend for this man. We disagree. Everybody knows we were not friends, okay? At all. But you praise the good when it's time to memorialize somebody. And what he did, and I didn't even know it, was good. He was not for censorship. He was not for civil war. He was not for violence. He was for dialogue, open debate and dialogue, even with me.
Pause it. Has he countered any of that? I mean, has he said in the past anything that to the opposite of what he just said?
Charlie Kirk?
No. Van Jones.
Or Van. No, yeah, Van Jones is all over the map.
I think what the conceit here is that he's saying, once I saw that he reached out to me and what he said in his DM, it radically changed my perspective of who he was.
Right. And yeah, Van does, he does pop around in weird ways because he was about the only voice of reason on CNN during the RNC as well. But then he goes into just, full on lefty mode quite often. His default is lefty.
Yeah, so that's effective. That's basically the.
There's only 1 second left in that clip. Well, here's a clip from Charlie that kind of would also fit in with that and explain kind of Charlie's thinking on that. This one is Charlie talking about the difference between the liberals and the leftists.
So there's a difference between liberals and leftists, okay? It's a very big difference. A liberal is someone I will disagree with, and we'll have a wonderful time. We'll go out to dinner and we'll consider each other friends. A liberal is someone that might believe in gay marriage. They might believe in more accessible abortion. They might believe in higher taxes, and they might believe in, maybe more social welfare programs. That's a liberal. A liberal will agree to disagree. A liberal will have the conversation, and they'll say, we might not agree on this, but I still treat you with respect, and I really like you as a person. A leftist will try to shut you up before you even open your mouth. A leftist does not believe in capitalism whatsoever. A leftist is rooted in intolerance. And you see this happen all over the place in America, where college campuses get shouted down. You heard my message tonight. Do you think I'm a hateful speaker? Do you think I bring vitriol? I get labeled by groups on the left in America that I should not be allowed to speak on U.S. campuses.
Verbally slip and say I got
vitriol
shot.
And hatred.
Yeah, I was thinking the same
I'm
thing.
spreading dangerous ideas. There's a difference between a liberal and a message tonight. Do you think I'm a hateful speaker? College campuses get shout it down. You heard my message tonight.
Oh my
You think
God.
I'm a hateful speaker?
That's
You think,
crazy.
I bring vitriol.
That wasn't why I
I get
brought it
labeled
up.
by
I know, but
groups
it's-
on the
it's
left
kinda-
in
it's-
America that I should
it's
not
just
be allowed
jarring.
to speak on U.S. campuses.
Yeah.
That I'm somehow spreading vitriol and hatred, and I'm spreading dangerous ideas. There's a difference between a liberal and a leftist.
And I think
There
most
are
of
no
us
more
have
liberals,
expressed that same sentiment. Most of the liberals moved over to the Republican side.
Yeah, have in
there
the
are
last
no
couple of
more
weeks.
liberals on the left.
Most-
There are liberals on the right. Keri, me to an extent, there are no liberals on the left anymore. And the people who aren't actively cheering for his murder or actively supporting those things are not really a whole hell of a lot much better in my eyes, because they have no problem with it. They're still supporting it. How many of them will really vociferously speak out against these things? 1, 2. It's the same thing with they had no problem in 2020, people's businesses getting burned down, people getting segregated, people getting put out of work. For years, the censorship of people on the right. So screw these people. The last person, now that Charlie is gone, really like the last person in the country with patience for these nut jobs is Keri Smith.
Well, and to give you an idea, Mikey, it's not Charlie Kirk as open as he was. This one has been circulating, but he did also share this one. The left is never played by our rules. Only we play by our rules. Our rules are what keep our side from winning. We either want to win or we will lose under some delusion that the rules mean anything. And this is a very appropriate thing to share as we're at a moment where we've got, and that's why I played the Van Jones thing. They are clearly trying to shift back to getting the people on the quote unquote right to unilaterally disarming and going back to why you need to be gentlemanly and play by the rules and Marcus Queensberry and Robert's Rules of Order and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, fuck off.
I've shared the famous quote from Lincoln, right? The quickest way to have a bad law repealed is to enforce it strictly. The only way we really get quote unquote cancel culture to go away is to have it applied to everybody across the board, because with one, it's very Soviet, right? Where it's a crime to carry a knife, but if you're in the party they let you go, and if you're someone who was just speaking out they plan it on you and send you to the gulag. Yeah. Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. If you are someone who genuinely wants cancel culture to go away, the only way cancel culture actually goes away is if the leftists are canceled.
Yeah.
And then they're suddenly going to want it to go away.
Yep. That's basically what I said. It's like, there's some people that are basically trying to call me a hypocrite because of this. And I'm like, first off, I believe in free speech. I do. But I also believe in holding people accountable to their principles, not mine. So that's the big thing right there. Is like, I'm not holding you accountable to my principles. I'm holding you accountable to yours, because that's the thing that they try and do to us, right? They try and get us. That's like their big gotcha. Well, you're not living your principles. You're right. I'm basically making you live yours.
Yeah.
So this was a fun when Barack Obama is complaining about it. After years of complaining about cancel culture, the current administration is taking it to a new and dangerous level by routinely threatening. And then Roseanne Barr comes in and is like, remember when you and your wife called Bob Iger to get me fired? So
I'm interested in what the community notes say.
Oh, yeah. I
No
don't
note
think any
needed.
of them. I think they're still proposed. They hadn't been. Now I just gave away that I'm in the note program.
Gotcha.
I'm a community
One
notary.
of us. One of us.
Yeah,
Do you have
I'm a notarizer?
Do you have a high enough rating to write notes?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, I know. So do I. I haven't written.
I don't ever
should.
do it.
Oh man, are we all community notarizers?
I'm not. I don't have time nor the capacity to care to do it.
Just the 4 blocks on the left are.
Apparently, like holiday squares, we've only got.
Yeah.
Oh, that would make Mikey the center square.
Hey, I'm the Alice.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the guy with the red hair and glasses? I didn't watch a lot of Hollywood
I
Squares.
think that's Comix.
Who?
Hollywood Squares. He was like in the middle. He had the glasses. Real big guy.
Carrot
like,
Top?
No. What the? God, no, Carrot Top.
Are you thinking of Bob Valanche?
Is that the big fat guy with the?
Yeah.
With the.
That's what he's thinking of.
Yeah, that's what. I didn't watch Hollywood Squares a lot.
Yeah, I gotta say, shut up, Blanche.
Did you know they're bringing it back? Apparently, it's on now. And I was like, "Who the
It's
hell
on
are
now.
these people?"
Oh, so they've actually reached the last thing they possibly could bring back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been brought back like multiple times at this point.
Could I say
I
something?
meant. Oh,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
go ahead.
Go, Keri.
Well, a couple of things. The Van Jones clip, I actually am inclined to give him the benefit of the doubt because that's just my nature, and I know he has spoken out of both sides of his mouth before, and so if he ends up, this is not him being more thoughtful, and he's just the same old Van's great. Okay, you've done that before, but for what he said, I'm willing to take this at face value because remember, he's speaking to, it's not just to us and how we will interpret it. And, oh, he's trying to get us to like go soft on cancel culture. I actually think he's speaking to leftists. That's who listened to him. He's speaking to leftists and he is trying to correct for some of them the image they have of Charlie Kirk by sharing this. And I was so glad that in this case, with all the vultures and the disgusting people, releasing texts in the past few days, I was really happy to see this text message released because no matter what you think about Van Jones, it shows you what a good man Charlie Kirk was. And it shows the left who Charlie Kirk was, that he was reaching out to Van and saying, let's talk and let's be agreeable to disagree, right? And I love that. And then the second thing I'll say is that clip about liberals and leftists where Charlie was drawing that distinction. I'm so glad that he drew that distinction there. I know we don't always do that. We speak in shorthand sometimes and we say liberal or we say, but I'm very glad when people take the time to do it. Maybe it was the subject of a question they had for him. I'm glad when they do it because I still believe that one of the keys to waking up some of the people who were still over there in that leftist cult is helping them understand that distinction. Because even if they don't behave like liberals, and even if they have been seduced into promoting illiberal beliefs and behaving like little fascists, like little commies, what have you, a lot of their identity is wrapped around being a liberal. That's how they think of themselves.
Yeah.
And so if you can help lay out for them, like he was doing effectively, this is what a liberal is and does. It opens up the opportunity for some of them, the ones who might have it, to have that moment of recognition of like, oh, am I not a liberal? And again, this is very few of them, but for some of them, this works. So I was happy to see him drawing that distinction there.
Well, what makes it so difficult is because you see this through a lot of different ideology, is that they wrap their personality so tightly with their political or their ideology, like that's how they identify. So if you attack their ideas, they feel like you're attacking them personally rather than being separate from what it is that they believe. And that's the biggest issue is because if you always feel like you're being attacked because somebody doesn't like your political views, then you're never going to listen to the criticism.
Absolutely. They have their whole identity wrapped up in what they think.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they don't even know what they think. That's the great the thing that's just amazing about it is they don't even know. When I was saying earlier, they have no idea what's going on in the world. Well, no wonder, because these people have no idea who or what they are or what they believe. They call themselves liberal, but they're not liberal. Some of them, the ones who go to woke social Jesus church, they call themselves Christians, but they're not Christian. They don't behave like Christians. They don't believe what Christians do. They just use words and they're really disconnected from themselves. I think this is why so many of them are on medications and drugs and alcohol and sex addicts, and they're miserable. A lot of these people are miserable.
Yeah.
Now I'm just talking about a specific person.
I do have to point this one out from the previous couple minutes. Parrot Head says they haven't brought back the Gong Show. Oh yes, they did.
Yeah,
See
Mike
if you can
Myers
guess.
did it too.
Oh,
already ruined
Comix ruined it.
Sorry.
Yeah, they brought it back with Mike Myers as the host in a fat suit and a ton of makeup.
Yeah.
Why?
And it lasted for maybe 2 seasons.
How did they get a
But-
second season?
Because he was actually funny in it. None of the acts were any good, but yeah, they did bring back the Gong Show. ABC. I'd like to welcome everybody coming over from Culture Casino's stream. Welcome to the Bullpen. This was one of the clips that I meant to have played earlier, along with that crazy TikTok girl.
She's gone again.
Yeah, she is. She forgot to turn off the camera.
But
But
I thought you were
this
going to
is
try to play that other clip.
no, this is Don Lemon, telling us what he thinks about the whole Charlie Kirk thing and about all of us. And yeah, guy's clueless.
A thing that is so.
Can I just guess that it's going to be a reasonable,
Did you
rounded
freeze
take?
frame on that point on purpose? Because that looks like Don Lemon's getting ready for something. Unfortunately,
It almost looks like looks like when Mikey's camera froze earlier.
Fuck off.
You think this is when he met a new young waiter?
Yeah, oh yeah. He's he's like, hello, waiter. Did you know that I took lessons from Kevin Spacey? I know how to do these things.
So all I was
Allegedly.
going to say was I was going to
Allegedly.
guess at how his take is going to be logical, based in like grounded, in reality.
I
and
haven't seen the clip. I'm going to
nuanced.
guess that he calls him racist and says he's a hateful racist.
Excited to find out.
What do you think he says about what Maggot thinks about Charlie?
Oh, that we're all racist, so we loved him because he was our white supremacist savior.
He's probably
Right.
saying we worshipped him during the service or idolized him or something.
No, of course.
Do you think that the Charlie Kirk memorial will make its way into the Jessica Chastain show as an online clip that she's watching to find threats against her family?
Oh,
new
yeah,
show.
Savant.
That's
Oh,
going to
that show
go
looks
so well now.
You haven't
after-
seen that?
after
You
all
haven't
this.
seen that clip, Mikey?
That's a thing.
Yeah, there's a trailer out for
is
her
doing
new
an
show.
Apple Plus show, and she's
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
She's fighting terrorists or something, domestic terrorists. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, but I don't want to keep staring at him, so let's play it real quick.
obvious about it. And I think that's so disgusting is that you don't really care.
Who doesn't?
You don't really care about Charlie Kirk. What you care is that this is a moment that you can use for clicks, to boost your
You know how they say,
podcast or your
how they say that some of these people on that side, that the reason why they can't fathom like things like why people would be so broken up or feel so deeply about what happened to Charlie is because they would see it as an opportunity to get political wins and to flex. So they
Yes.
can't even perceive how anybody else could possibly do something different.
Yeah.
I'm saying
100%.
streaming show or your radio show or your television show or your news show or your MAGA bona fides with the MAGA group or your political stripes, that you can improve it, or you can have a moment where you're
I had
crying
MAGA
in front
bona
of the cameras,
fides,
you
but I
gather
took
all
a
the
10-day course of antibiotics, and I feel much better.
Clear it up right away.
I had magonitis and they gave me like 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. That helped.
Yeah, just don't take Tylenol; it'll make you autistic. That's
Or it
gonna
might
break.
or it
that's
might poison you.
By the way, that's going to be released tomorrow. That's the
That's the news that they're breaking.
The news is that they found a super strong correlation of pregnant women taking Tylenol and autism.
Wait, really?
Yep. So
gather all the
that's gonna
reporters
be
at the
big news
at the
tomorrow.
Capitol, and you go, and it's your fault, and it's your fault, and it's the left, and whatever. And
Yeah, so that's what Don Lemon thinks that how we all feel about Charlie Kirk.
Don
Which tells you he
Lemon,
knew nothing.
he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand it. And as you pointed out, Mad, he's just projecting because he doesn't. There's no one on the left. Like I can't think of one person on the left who, if this happened to them, it would be this. I can think of someone they would throw a huge thing for, but it wouldn't be this authentic outpouring and this grassroots outpouring of. They didn't know how many millions of people he touched. The leftists on my Facebook wall When I was sharing videos of people in Korea, in the streets in Korea chanting, "We are Charlie Kirk," they're like, the leftists are like, why? Why are they doing that? I'm like, because he was just there. He was there talking
Yeah.
about persecuted Christians. Like he was there creating a mirrored youth group there. When I showed the video of the Maoris chanting and doing a haka for Charlie in London, they're like, why? What is this? What is this happening? Why are there rallies everywhere? Why are they don't understand? And so all they can assume is like you said, Matt, they put themselves in their shoes. And this guy, I'm convinced, is a soulless demon. And so for him, it's all fake. So of course it's gotta be fake.
I think what it is that Don Lemon is ideologically captured, right? And again, what he is doing, it's the typical leftist thing. Accuse your opponents of what you're actually doing. So he doesn't care about Charlie Kirk, and he is grifting to his audience. So obviously the people that on the other side must be doing the exact same thing. So I'm going to go and say, oh, these people don't care about Charlie Kirk. They're just grifting.
But what's sad though is
because I'm grifting.
Because Don Lemon is not a very bright man.
Yeah.
And so
he's
he
been
doesn't,
chasing fame.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to do it without being just blatant and obvious about what it is he's doing.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
And they don't have let me talk about the little guy rather than Don Lemon at the I just love that we're calling that. Just really quickly when I was watching the service, I was watching it on Facebook at the beginning. Later I was watching on YouTube. And in the Facebook comments, there were probably hundreds of people that were like these demonic people that were coming in and saying, I'm glad he's dead. I watched him getting shot over and over. I loved it. You know, you're a bunch of Nazis. This is a Nazi. There are all kinds of these comments, right? Of course. And what I was thinking about these people, though, is that it was so beautiful to see. Now, there were people arguing with them and telling them to go to hell, but there were also there was an overwhelming number of people watching it on Facebook who were seeing that this was like a revival, and I think they were filled with the Spirit. And people who were commenting, hundreds commenting to these miserable ghouls and saying, "We are praying for you. We love you. We're praying for you," and in sincerity saying that, like, we're praying for you. And I was thinking about some of these miserable ghouls, and it's like, you hate Charlie Kirk so much, but you don't know why, and you hate that all these people are watching the funeral. And I think part of that is this miserable kind of, nobody's going to mourn you when you die, and deep down you know that, and that's why you're so angry and resentful that this man is getting so much adoration from so many people, because it highlights all of your failings and your inadequacies of the heart. That's
yeah.
what I'll say about that.
And two quick things. The other thing that's happening is I don't know how many people on the right actually knew how big Charlie was, because there were a lot of older Americans or older conservatives that his stuff just would not get to. It was catered to specific age groups, that being high schoolers and college age. And like, my parents had no clue who he was until I finally showed them, here's what he stood for. I've been watching him for a long time. I know Mad's been watching him.
Yep.
I mean, there are a lot of people that have now come out and just been like, I didn't know what he was about. And there's a lot of people that are going to find out what he's about now.
What's great?
I think his show has already gone to #1 for all podcasts in the last week. He's been getting hundreds of millions of views on all the old videos. Go ahead, man.
What's really great is that on Twitter you'll see guys, and especially black guys, they'll have this video and be like, "Look, I heard all this, all these claims about what Charlie said, and I went on a deep dive." One guy was like, "Yeah, every lunch break I'm watching his videos, and he was nothing like what they tried to tell us he was." And it's amazing to see all these people come out and be like, "Yeah, they shouldn't have done that because I went and looked for myself." And they're wrong.
It's a huge mistake.
Radically changed their viewpoint on the whole left. He's like, I don't know what to make of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Keri, you were trying to figure out who on their side would equate, who they would throw a celebration for. Superior Nav beat me to it. I was going to say this, but yeah, they had theirs. They chose George Floyd to be their martyr.
They chose
any junkie with the right skin color or gender.
I think it doesn't even matter. In fact, I think they want someone so that they could try
They
to
want
make
a
as
trans
big,
Floyd next.
They want to try to
Nah.
make as big of a deal that the right did for Charlie. They want their own moment, not to use it to flex, because like
Not
what Don
authentically.
Lemon would, yes, like I said, to flex, just like what Don Lemon was accusing the right of doing.
I
They
can tell
want
you,
it.
yeah, right now, what the left wants more than anything else is a trans person to
Yeah.
be. There's a famous case of a drug dealer who was turned into a martyr because he was gay. And some people may, I don't know if Mikey knows what
I know
I'm
this
talking
one.
about. Yeah, I think, was it Iowa or which?
I can't
Are you
remember,
talking
but
about
like
Matthew Shepard?
Matthew
Yeah.
Shepard.
Oh, Matthew Shepard, yeah.
So Matthew Shepard was, so the media made him into this angel martyr who was just a gay man at a bar who was murdered
Killed for
horrendously.
being gay.
What he really
Wasn't that
was,
the actor on Lost?
no.
that's Matthew Fox, isn't it?
Yeah, his last, on Lost, his name was Shepard.
Jack Shepard.
It was Jack Shepard. So
Yeah, I was mixing the names.
Yeah, but he was actually a drug dealer known to the guys who killed him. They didn't do it because he was gay. It was about drugs. And there's I forget what the reporter's name. It was from like The Nation or one of the left wing things, who wanted to go and do the deep dive and really learn to be able to write a book about it. And the reporter went there and was like, I found out that this was nothing like what was reported. And as soon as I wanted to bring the truth, they're like, nope, we're not printing it.
Yeah, he was killed over
Wow.
like drugs, right? It was like just drug
so-
deal.
Gone bad.
Yeah, because Matthew Shepard became the icon, and this was in the 90s, and they passed laws. I think the hate crime law was named after either him in some states
Yes,
or
it was.
Bird out of Texas, where that
The Matthew
one.
Shepard Act.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
not
So-
the only. So, do you remember the Earth Day commercial with the Indian and somebody throws trash? He's on the side of
The
the
tear.
road, and he
Yeah.
has a single. Yeah, that dude is an Italian from Louisiana. He
I'm
is
glad you
not
watched
Native
that
American.
episode of Sopranos as well.
I never watched any of Sopranos, but this is a real thing, though.
That is a terrible
I'm doing a
crime against
rewatch right
humanity.
now, by the way.
I
just-
tried
Yeah.
to a couple times. I can't get through the intro, but anyways, yeah. So even to this day, they have like these big like celebration days because of him. He was like one of the most famous Native Americans who was an Italian from Louisiana.
Who's not Native American.
Well, if you really want to get into it, you remember the Indian girl who went on stage to not accept Marlon Brando's Oscar.
I was just
Also
gonna
not a
say
Native
that.
American.
Also
yeah.
not
Yeah.
also not Native American.
And
Or remember the Indian girl in
Congress.
Congress?
Yes.
No, she's not Native
Elizabeth
American
Warren.
either.
Yeah.
The journalist, by the way, anybody
Alright,
that's
Cody,
interested
take
in
Andy.
that story that you're telling, it's Stephen Jimenez, and the book was called The Book of Matt. And the thing is, like, Jimenez himself was gay, and he spent over a decade researching the book because he really wanted to do it justice, and he wanted to write this book about this guy who became a martyr who was killed just for being gay. But then when he started looking into it, he realized, wait a minute, the whole story is fake. He was killed for crystal meth. So
Wow, I'd never heard that actually. I had no idea that the whole thing with Matthew Shepard
Yep.
was
No, it was
a drug deal.
I didn't know that for a while either.
the optics of the crime fit perfectly for the public relations of the moment, so it became exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Because they're taking advantage of something that is true for most people on the right. We are, and I would say even most people in general in the United States, we are generally fair, moral people who, even if we disagree with things, we find, injustice morally repugnant. So the idea that someone, even if we disagree with someone being gay on a moral or religious level, just being in a bar and being murdered because of it, we would find repugnant. So that was the perfect vehicle where you turn him. I think they did plays about him. They did all sorts of stuff to make him the icon that
The
they
Larrabee
wanted.
Project.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the thing was, it was just like George Floyd later, where if you spoke out or question it, you immediately was like, you're just a homophobe and you're a bigot. You don't question that.
By the
And
way, you said
Go
that
ahead.
it fits perfectly with their optics. Yeah, it's easy when you just make something into your optics. You know what I mean? The crime didn't fit the object.
Look for the
the crime, the crime and the circumstances of why he was killed didn't fit. So they blurred that
so they
out.
made it fix.
But what they wanted was the brutality. They needed, like, he was brutally murdered.
Yeah.
And honestly, and the other thing was his pictures, like when you put him up on TV, he looked the part, right? He looked like, he fit what they wanted to be able. It's just like when the Trayvon Martin case came along, they made a point of showing his 7th grade picture.
Yeah.
As opposed to the fact that he was a senior in high school who had grown 1.5 feet and had put on a lot of muscle and had a history of committing violent offenses. All that goes away. Instead, you show his Pee Wee football picture from when he was in 7th grade, and it's like, oh, isn't that that poor child? It was like, but that's not what he looked like. So this is what is it when they did with Joe Rogan, where they put his 7 different shades of jaundice on him when he was doing that quote about taking
ivermectin. Yeah.
I think was
and how CNN did not get nailed by the FCC. I guess because that's cable rather than
it's cable. It's NBC, CBS, ABC,
still,
and Fox. They have the public broadcasting waves.
I have such a problem. This is like one of the big things that this country needs to correct is that the media should not be allowed. The news should not be allowed to lie to people, and anything that gets classified as infotainment or edutainment or whatever. The fact that they get away with lying like that is disgusting.
I'm with you on that.
Well, I think our FCC commissioner is going to be keeping an eye out for things like that going forward.
It looks like we got a chat in for you, Brahma.
Yes, we did. From Sea Striker for $1.99. Thank you.
Sea Striker.
The left want a martyr to have a martyr. Is that one of your guys, Mikey?
My beloved.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you for contributing. This is all going towards the Mads Not a Co-Host Fund. And remember, chat, every contribution you make helps towards that, whether that's purchased memberships, super chats, super stickers. Yeah. If you want to make sure Mad knows his place, please.
Yeah, my place is as the co-host. I only listened to half of that, but I don't like the half I heard.
Now, if you get the goal up to 300, he's back to a co-host.
Ooh, but 400, Brahma will have enough for a producer, so he doesn't keep boomering everything.
I don't know.
I've got 2 co-hosts.
Yeah,
I should already have some other people producing.
I am not a producer. I am talent.
I'm not a producer. No. Yeah, I'm talent. Yeah.
I speak of the Ottoman Empire.
And I said that line knowing that I had to do it before Mad did.
I will never forget when I was on a show with Mads with the craziest titty lady in the history of titty ladies.
Dude.
It lives in my head rent-free.
I can't stop thinking about it. Every few days, like it will pop up in my head. Just the crazy shit. And how I'm DMing you like, bro, what is up with this?
I've tried explaining it to my friends, and I'm like, no, whatever I'm saying is just such an understatement.
Right?
With that lady talking about like a table or a chair or some crazy, stupid
just.
And for it to be stuck in Mad's head is a truly horrible thing because Mad hates titties.
That seems un-American, but we'll see. Like, look at that, Mad. Even Mikey appreciates them more. That's weird. You need to get over that one.
Because you don't eat at the restaurant doesn't mean you can't look at the menu.
Wait. Hey, hang on. You got to pull that chat up from Culture again.
The one about the 4 panelists?
Yeah.
What did he say?
How did you expect us to be panelists on your show tonight, Culture, when you started your show at the exact same time that I have been starting my show for 6 or 7 months now? It's very difficult for that to happen.
And he doesn't have the time. He doesn't have the excuse of the time change thing. Remember last week he was like, "Oh man, when the time changes, it's gonna mess me up."
That's not.
But I do appreciate you sending everybody over.
Plus, we had very special guests on the show. We weren't gonna mess around with that.
Also, I love you, Culture. Just want to throw that out there.
I
As I twist the knife.
Can
I'm
Love you, buddy.
friends with culture. I wouldn't say love, but that's you, Comics. You go for
I
it.
think
I
Keri
love
was wanting to say something about the last
I love
portion of
culture.
conversation.
Well, I was going to say when Mikey was referring to his the person that Chad is his beloved, maybe I was one of the only people who, when I saw the text messages from the killer to his roommate slash lover,
I've seen them.
I didn't think they were weird at all because I get texts from my Carlo that are like, "Hello, lover." And and it's like he speaks informal language as well.
So
What's
I,
interesting though is I went
go
to
ahead.
his Steam account because he has a few reviews up there, and they're written the exact same way.
Yes. That's the thing is like, well, I was making a joke of Mikey. I love you, Mikey.
Well, yeah.
But it's true. I actually don't find the text weird because in order to determine if they're strange or not, we have to get a baseline of what he
Yep.
normally texts like with his lover. And if we're only getting and I read all the Discord messages, I read the Steam messages, some of them there are some similarities, but we really need to see, and I hope they will at some point release more of the messages between him and the roommate, because that's where it's more intimate. It's just the two of them on text. How
Right.
do they usually talk, and then compare it to that.
I think it's a combination of maybe that's how he always does it, and that they were cleaning it up so everyone can understand what they're saying to each other. Because you know what I mean. You can't just put it out there because I don't.
I was going to say those messages are completely ex post facto. My gay trans furry lover was not in on the.
Yeah,
shooting.
I took it as a prefabricated
Yeah.
conversation.
absolutely.
That was the shooter understanding. I know I'm going to get caught now because this dragnet is coming around and they've released my photo.
Now pretend like we didn't talk about it ever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So because we did those because
I bet those contingency plans were already in place.
Well, this guy. He's got a high IQ. We know that from standardized testing. If he knows he's getting caught and he was genuinely motivated by his trans love, he's gonna want to protect his furry transy person. And what's the best way to do that? You make a paper trail. Your text messages are gonna get. Yeah, I mean, there's no way at that point you don't know about it. So you're effectively confessing to soloing the crime, and the other and look at the other person's responses. What was that? You? Oh no!
You could
it was
almost hear the bad delivery, like,
Yeah.
"Oh no,
Yeah.
I can't believe it."
Yeah.
I never thought you would do such a thing.
Yeah.
Of all people,
This is so strange.
You had a dislike for Charlie Kirk. That is not
I
something
don't.
I was
I had
aware
no
of.
idea that was even a thing.
I trust that they will get to the bottom of it. I hope they will if there were more people who had advanced knowledge. And I have seen some of the tweets from people who were in the Steam trans furry chat with him. Some of the tweets that are allegedly from people that were in that chat, where it seemed they were tweeting the day before that something big was going to happen.
Yeah.
And those things have not been confirmed by authorities yet, so I'm waiting to see if they can.
There were other people saying it almost a month before.
Yeah.
And so this is where I want to bungalow logic. Are we still 100% this guy acted alone / unprompted? These are two different questions that are very important to differentiate.
Yeah.
Were there other people involved with helping him maybe plan for what he was going to do or giving him moral support for what he was going to do? I think at this point, the Discord, as described by the FBI, and there's definitely probably stuff about that.
At least 7 people that they are currently investigating.
Now, the idea of acting alone in terms of being on site and packing your rifle and taking a shot, I think it was, because if you look at that area, that sight line was clear. There was no bulletproof glass or security to do it. There's no reason. There's no reason it would take more than one person. There was only single shot fired. For people, I know that the thing that's throwing some people who are gun people off is like that was a 30-06. How is there no giant exit wound? It's only 200 yards away. He was using, I believe, hollow point ammunition.
Well, and also they I don't know who he was, but he talked to whoever, and what happened was it hit like his bone or whatever, and it was so healthy of a bone, and
The guy talking
bone,
about the bone density.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't look
I don't
into
know
it.
about all that. But
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't look
and
too much into it. But I
sometimes
did see that
bullets
it was
do
mentioned.
what bullets are going to do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is a high caliber round, so it would make sense to ask the question of why there wasn't a Quigley, which
Right.
is
Down under.
through and through, where you get 2 in one shot on a high caliber.
But it's also maybe God.
No,
I mean,
and
a
that's
miracle that it didn't go through him into somebody else.
Hit other people.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff is fairly easy to explain away. What I think is silly is people like I've seen now. There's clips of like I think Owen Benjamin like, well, clearly it was a ballistic worked into the microphone that he had on. I was like, oh my god,
Which is
That was the
crazy.
shock,
Why the fuck
that was
would
the
anyone
shock
make what he
wave from
says?
the.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the one where they're like, look, it's all makeup, see? And like they're trying to say that it's special effects,
Yeah.
like what you would see in horror movies on his neck.
I'm not going to say that there's a giant
Bitches.
overlapping Venn diagram of flat earthers who are
There-
also making this argument, but there's not. It's definitely
Bitches
not
are
zero.
bitching again.
Again, though, to come back to something Comix said earlier, this is the fault of the left because they've rendered us to a place where nobody trusts the institutions anymore. Nobody trusts the news.
Yep.
True.
And so here we are, and people are like, I don't know, maybe the moon is made of cheese, and maybe this didn't. And I don't know what to believe. And part of
We
that
all
is
know it was hollow and constructed.
I
Sorry.
worry that it's going to be a rebirth of QAnon in some ways, and I hope it's not. I hope people are at a point to where like, no, dumb, don't be crazy. You got us with the pizza place, but you're not getting us with this one. You know what I mean?
Look, I still have questions about comic ping pong.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, no, I live nearby
too.
enough, Mad. It doesn't. The logistics of the business operations don't make sense.
It was the only example. It was the first example that came to my head. I came up with the other
understand.
things.
But the greater point is the problem is we're primed because we've had so much stuff that we were told was conspiracy that was 100% true. COVID broke our ability. I think because everything was that we were told was conspiracy was in fact correct.
Yeah.
It broke our ability to kind of what is the way common sense our way through conspiracy. Like like in the old days when they told you 9/11 was a conspiracy, you could be like, okay, let's go through the sheer number of people that would have to be involved with 9/11 for that conspiracy to work.
That's always the biggest issue on
like-
almost any of these. Is the amount of people
On all
that
the
it would
big
take.
ones.
It's like
for
we'd
how
have to have
long?
9/11. You'd have to have 3 planes of people that disappeared.
All the
You'd have to
crews
have
that would have to work on the
the
detonation
crews that
stuff.
would do it, and you'd have American crews that were launching, and this is because of the Pentagon. We had family friends who died in the Pentagon, and so I take umbrage to the conspiracy. It's a cruise missile. It's like, mother effer. Have you ever seen how close Reagan Airport is to the Pentagon? You don't have to know how to fly a plane to just dip it right into the Pentagon.
I think what would help though if they would have had a piece of the airplane from the Pentagon.
Okay,
did.
do you not know how that shit, when something explodes, there's nothing left of it?
No, they
nothing
have,
left.
They do have pieces.
Do they have it?
I mean,
I've never
there's
seen this.
pieces,
That's the only
but I
thing.
mean,
Yeah,
it's
there
like
was-
a.
There's a bit of
fragments
mad
plane.
left.
True. I
There
do know a
would've
little
been
bit
more
about
if he pulled the
explosions.
fire suppression
Don't you
system.
have the halon?
The army did.
They're true. In the
That's
middle
why
of
you
the
didn't
night.
get a challenge coin.
No, that was because I stole his shit.
That was community armor.
My loves, I'm sorry. I need to get going in a sec. I've been up since very early. I was like,
No problem, Mikey. What do you got coming up?
just my show. I'll be live, I think on Tuesday, and doing a bunch more live streams on my show Microaggressed. It's just my name on YouTube, and same old shit otherwise.
Cool. Nice.
So
You
on
guys
your,
gotta come on already, though. It's been too long.
Yeah,
you
it's
should
been
have-
never
you
for
should
some
have
of us.
Mad
Yeah.
do.
Send-
You should have
yeah.
Mad do a Sopranos watch through with you.
You never
God.
watched it.
No, I told you I couldn't get through the intro. I'm like, I get it.
What do you mean the intro? It's the Lincoln Tunnel. What's the intro?
Just like they're like in the car and they're like, yeah, soprano music or whatever they're playing, and I was just like, I get it. They're like from New Jersey or whatever, and then I guess didn't go back and finish it.
Tunnel to the Jersey Turnpike. What's to understand?
It's not. I understood that they were traveling by vehicle, Mike. What I'm saying is, it just felt like I got it. Like they're New Jerseyans. You know what I mean?
Oh,
No!
you'll never get it.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, you've met people from New Jersey.
Yeah, that was the road. That was the same road we would take to drive to my grandmother's house.
I feel like I get it from osmosis. Like I get it from like, you know what I mean? Everybody's seeing it, and I'm like, okay, he sees a therapist or whatever, and like he's mean to his wife or some
got
shit.
up to that part.
No, I did not. This is what I pick up from other people.
Cultural osmosis.
I've never seen it either, Matt. It's one of my
Neither have I.
favorite shows. So we're getting ready to watch it actually because he's like,
It's fantastic.
So good.
Yeah,
it's so good.
And now The Wire. Now that was good HBO.
I never watched that.
HBO
Wow,
from
that's
the
way
late
worse.
90s into the early O's was on a run, man. You had The Wire, you
Yeah.
had Sopranos, you had
Oz.
Rome, you had Oz.
Oh,
They
Rome
were-
is so
was
good.
such a good show.
When people said that whole thing going around, like, do you ever think about Rome? And I was like, I think about the TV show Rome, like, all the
Yeah, I've
time.
rewatched it for like the fifth time a month ago.
All right, let's let Mikey get out of here.
Oh, sorry.
Hey,
Mikey,
thank you for joining us, buddy.
Yeah, Mikey,
so
thanks
much
for being
having
here.
me.
I love you, Mikey.
Keep that link. Keep that link because it's a permalink. You can use it anytime you got a free Sunday night.
Man, we could giving this away to everybody.
You're the best.
I've got
You
a
guys did
specific
well.
group that I've got in. I've got a specific group I've got in mind to, be, coming in whenever they feel like it.
You the best. All right,
Like
I'll
mad.
see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.
Later, Mike.
See you, man. Take
Bye.
care.
So before we keep getting too far away from it, couple more clips. This was Ilhan Omar this morning. And then I've got one of Fetterman on what Fetterman actually being about the most based on the left right now, oddly enough. But we'll start with Ilhan, then we'll show Fetterman, and then we'll make Keri cry.
Do we need to remove the mic from the scene? We'll do that when we're done.
I can do that in the background.
Yep.
I just think it was the video where it called him Dr. Frankenstein and said his monster shot him through the neck. I mean, obviously this is a person, and looking at this is someone who was a husband and a father, and in the days after his shocking death, that happened as a result of his views, or it happened as a result as he was sharing his views publicly with people, that people found it jarring to hear such criticism of that in the immediate aftermath of
what
someone's death.
I find jarring is that there's so many people willing to excuse the most reprehensible things that he said, that they agree with that they're willing to have monuments for him, that they want to create a day to honor him, and that they want to produce resolutions in the House of Congress honoring his life and legacy. It is one thing to care about his life, because obviously so many people...
Correction, this may have been last night. But,
Okay,
yeah.
what I find reprehensible is the fact that this woman is in Congress. Okay, I find it very difficult to believe that this woman has been elected.
Yes.
Well, when you fill up a whole state with Somalian refugees, then they kind of vote for one of their own.
I just don't understand why Scott Pressler didn't question it.
What I don't understand is why it's such a big deal if a Christian goes into office.
No, it's like, no. When you said that, I was like, what? I took a look. I was like, oh, I totally see it.
Get it? Sorry.
I totally see it. But yeah, it's. Can we just deport this dumb bitch? I mean,
there's a lot of people calling for her to be unseated and deported.
The correct
Why?
follow-up
What happened?
question for Caitlin Collins in this circumstance is, Congressman Omar, did you just marry your brother or did you F him too? And then she has to answer like, no, because there's no right answer for that that's going to help her.
Yeah, did you
Just the one time I was stuck in the dryer. All right, be back, smoke break.
Oh,
Wait.
stepbrother.
Mad. So that you were saying that the lady on the left looks like Scott Pressler?
Oh yes, that
Was
was
that a
mad.
good joke?
That was the joke. Yes.
If it was funny, that was me.
Okay.
No, that was
Scott Pressler.
Aw. No, Scott Pressler has made that joke.
Oh, he has.
Yes.
Yeah.
of him, including his children and wife. But I am not going to sit here and be judged for not wanting to honor any legacy this man has left behind. That should be in the dustbin of history, and we should hopefully move on and forget the hate that he spewed every single day.
His legacy should be left in the dustbin of history. Ilhan Omar will be forgotten far quicker than he will.
Yeah, so she looked at Caitlin Collins and she was like, Caitlin, look at me. I'm
Don't compare him to
Yeah. So unreasonable, and then to mostly reasonable.
Don't compare him to anyone. And if you do, then you will incite somebody to say, well, now I feel like I have to stop that and take them out. People have seemed to have forgotten that the president took a shot to the head. And can you imagine if that shot would have gone the way Charlie Kirk's one, and what kind of condition our nation would be in? This is such a dangerous time right now. And now why? You don't need this an opportunity to share your opinions on it. Just, again, it's appalling, and allow folks enough space to grieve. The man hasn't even been buried yet. And it's like, that's why we wanted to have a conversation, that we have to find a way to work together.
Fetterman has actually been reasonable lately.
Yeah.
It's like the stroke actually fixed him. Mark Daly for $5. This is the first time I've seen Omar live since the Mideast pagers exploded. I was starting to think she had one of them. She has been extremely vile during this time period. And one of the points I was going to make on it is, why is it always such a litmus test and such a big deal that Christians might actually govern as Christians, but nobody seems to have a problem with Islamists governing like Islamists? Nobody ever calls them out on it.
Well, because there's that weird kind of, I'm not going to say allegiance between the left and, Islamists, but that's kind of what it is. I mean,
because it's an authoritarian rise?
Well, maybe it's because they both have the same goal, which is basically tear down this country and rebuild it in their image.
It's a little different than what I get what you're saying, where you're ascribing like a knowing, and it's true on the Muslim side. They are knowingly aligning with the left because it's the easiest vehicle for power.
Yes.
And they know that they just need to get their foot in the door. And once they reach the tipping point, which is between 10 and 50% of a population, whether it's local or eventually national, they will control what they want, their outcome. Whereas on the left side, and I think Keri can speak to this, there's an indoctrination about identity politics, where if you are perceived in any way as an oppressed group, you get an elevated status. And it gives you a shield, whereas anybody questions your viewpoint or you can immediately ascribe hate as their motivation for questioning you. So the Muslim, I think it's more nefarious on the Muslim infiltration side, and they're taking advantage of the left-wing leftist mind, where they've trained a whole generation to view things on a scale of oppression.
Yes.
And they are knowingly taking advantage of that to get to the and they're playing along right now because it helps them until such time as they don't need them anymore. They are Trotsky, right? Once Stalin is in power, Trotsky will be airbrushed out of history. And you can see this happening in England. Once they reach a sufficient point to take over and have comfortable power, they will stop aligning and do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and never forget, they're allowed to lie in their religion to get that power.
Yeah, because lies or actions
sanctioned
in the pursuit of jihad or against infidels if it's for the greater good of the faith, is sanctioned.
Yep.
I mean, look at the 9/11 hijackers. We have all the extensive documentation of going to strip clubs, drinking alcohol. And all of that was in their mind. It was sanctioned because the moms who were aware of their mission had told them this is all justifiable to create your cover to be able to achieve the goals that you have set forward.
Look at supposedly devout Mom Donnie, willing to talk everything great about the Rainbow Coalition.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing to consider is also there is an alignment with the trans movement from the Muslim perspective, where what country does the most trans surgeries in the world? Iran. Because they are more aligned mentally with the idea that your body is wrong and they will make you a woman rather than letting you be gay.
Yes.
So if your choice if you're gay is you can either transition to being a female or you can die.
Do you remember the YouTuber Riley Dennis? I don't know if anybody knows who Riley Dennis is, but that was like one of the things that Riley Dennis was saying, because Riley Dennis was trans, and he was trying to go and say, oh, look how awesome and progressive Iran is, because they will basically let people transition. It's like, no, you idiot, they're forcing gay people
forced transition.
Yeah, forcing the transition so they won't be quote unquote gay.
Like physical conversion therapy with surgery and pills.
Yeah. Yes. That shit was crazy.
Right. Keri's got to leave in a few, so let's get the final clip and probably the most moving of the whole memorial. This is Erica giving part of her eulogy, which lasted, I think her full eulogy was about 30 minutes. But this was probably the most powerful point of it. Let me get the audio before I boomer it again.
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
So yeah, that was the moment that Keri was talking about earlier in the stream. Probably the most powerful moment in the whole thing. And from a Christian perspective, even though it's extremely hard to understand it, I mean, that is what she's called to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a non-Christian, I get it. But the whole thing for me, when it comes to forgiveness for me, it's like I can forgive those who ask for it, but I won't forgive people who don't. And I completely understand, because it is in the Christian faith to do so, but it's not in mine. And I'm a wrathful motherfucker.
But not everyone can do it anyway, even if you are Christian. I mean, the thing is, like,
takes a lot of
it
strength.
can't be forced.
It does.
And yeah, it takes a lot of so the majority of Christians are like you, like Trump, like, I'm sorry, I hate my enemies. And it takes a lot. Like, so I think she's very, very spiritually, like she's wise. Like, this is a person who is strong in her faith. And I aspire to be like that, because I pray for my enemies, but it is hard.
So this is where I would take a page out of the Democrat messaging. If you remember from the 80s and 90s, the messaging on abortion was, I am anti-abortion personally, but I don't believe I should, let my personal feelings interfere with making it safe, legal, and rare. To me, the right answer in this situation is, I admire her for being able to forgive the man who robbed her of her husband. And that is right and just on a Christian level. But society has an obligation to murder this man.
Yes,
through the death penalty.
She's made a statement that she doesn't want to comment on it at all. Basically, that what's going to be done to him is going to be done to him. She doesn't want his blood on her hands. Let society deal with it.
Right.
But
I get
as
that.
for her, she's personally going to choose forgiveness.
Yeah,
And forgiveness doesn't mean no worldly consequences.
Well, no,
Correct.
well,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah, for me, the one thing that a lot of people, especially when it comes to the fans of the playground, and that it's like death penalty. I want death penalty. It's like, no, I want them to be in general population because I know exactly what happens to those types of people in general population in prison. Same thing with him. I don't want him to get the chair. I want him to have a long, miserable fucking life.
Utah has.
He's getting the firing squad.
That's how Utah does it.
Yeah.
Are they going to give out coins like they did with the other guy? You know how
Part of me still wants it to be public.
So the last time they did firing squad, it's like, I believe they had 5 people there and 4 of them had live rounds. These are volunteers.
It's usually just one live round.
I thought it was 4, and then one of them didn't have a live round.
It's usually
it's to absolve everybody else.
Yeah.
You don't know. There's
Which
one
one-
live round, and
you
nobody
don't know
knows
who-
who's got it.
Oh, I see.
Right.
But then they all got a commemorative coin, which just
See, Maz,
commemorating.
they got a coin.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
That's what you. Oh, I was about to say, Matt. That's what you get when you don't steal the community armor. No, this is where again, it's an important but necessary distinction where people are complaining, and that if you're really Christian, you won't. Yes, you can in fact be a devout and observant Christian while allowing society to work towards the greater goals necessary to retain order versus chaos. And in my case, I feel very strongly that in instances like this, the death penalty is not only warranted, it is necessary. Not because
Yes, an example must be made.
Yeah, not because it's a situation of, they will usually bring up, well, how do you ever, isn't it reform and forgiveness? It's important that you see on as Keri said, in an earthly consequence zone, that when you do something this heinous or bad, there are negative consequences. And that's why, as an example that I would give, as someone who lived in Virginia and was at several of the locations where the DC snipers murdered people, it was necessary and important that he was executed. And in the case of the DC sniper, he murdered people across multiple jurisdictions and multiple states like Maryland and Virginia and DC. They purposefully, even though there was, I think, only one murder that was committed in what was Prince William County in Virginia, the Prince William County prosecutor had an undefeated record of death penalty cases. I think there was 10-0, and Virginia had the death penalty, whereas Maryland didn't. So they purposely all agreed that he would be tried first in Virginia, in Prince William County, for the murder that was committed there, so he could be basically convicted and on death row. And then they let all the other trials go forward after that. And he was executed. And Virginia at the time we were second only to Texas in terms of per capita getting people moved from conviction to execution. So it was, I think, within 10 years. This isn't someone who ended up like in California, where these people spend their entire lives not being executed. Within 10 years, he was gone.
Yeah.
And that's what this needs to be. In Utah, I think they probably also have a very good record where if people commit those crimes, they actually do move through death row and face the penalty. So I'm hoping, in this case, it's fairly open and shut from what the evidence we've seen is. And they've already, the prosecutor already did that press conference announcing that they're pursuing capital murder charges.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I would hope within the next decade, hopefully under a Vance or subsequent administration, this person is no longer a federal or state level expense because they have been removed.
Yeah. And I was explaining the forgiveness thing to my daughter a little bit, because it's like, I didn't use this exact analogy, but kind of, we were talking about the forgiveness thing because she was kind of furious that she said she forgave him. And I was like, well, I mean, to a much lesser extent, it's much like a parent having to spank their kid. The kid may already have said sorry, and you're going to forgive them, but they're still going to get the punishment because that's how they learn. I mean, this is the same thing. You can give the forgiveness, but the consequence is still going to happen for the action.
And the consequence is also for the protection of society as well.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you've
Yes.
forgiven the person or not, the consequence is to protect society from that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think I'm one of those people who I don't think there should be any parole for murderers. And
No.
very, very maybe there could be some French case example, hypothetical.
No, I'd say it depends on the circumstance of the murder, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
because
that's-
you know that's like the with everything. It's like
Yeah.
murder and self-defense. I mean, self-defense is still considered to be murder. I think.
Right. It depends on the.
Well, if it's self-defense, though, you don't have to worry about getting paroled.
So there
Yeah.
there is a linguistic component to that, whereas there's self-defense was never considered murder in the biblical sense. Like
Fair enough.
And in fact, it's gone through several evolutions to the point where you get the thou shalt not kill version of the commandment versus the original interpretation of thou shalt not basically murder and
Yeah, thou shalt not murder, commit murder.
because I mean if you read Old Testament when when that commandment was issued, there's plenty of examples of completely biblically justified homicide. Where
Thank you.
someone,
I think I was getting it switched around. It's considered to be homicide, not
homicide is just unnatural death.
Just
right.
Death.
Natural death versus unnatural. Now, whether a homicide is a murder is based on the circumstance.
Right.
So I think, at least in my understanding as a Christian, is, and if you look at when Jesus crucified, right, he didn't, as someone who could have, he didn't necessarily take the criminals who were with them and say you shouldn't be putting them to death. He said, if you accept me as the as your savior, you're going to get the pathway to be forgiven and welcomed with me into the kingdom of God. He didn't turn around and tell them you had to uncrucify, you have to let this guy go because the death penalty is wrong. He said you can seek forgiveness and accept me as your savior and find a path outside of your earthly consequences.
Yeah, and also he probably knew they're not going to listen to him in that particular situation. You know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying, but
I'm trying to counter other posts that are being sent.
Let's
to
get
us.
Tox's super chat and read the verses that he brought up, and then we can let Keri go. So Tox for $2, Luke 18:10-14, which says, 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week, and I give 1/10 of all I get. But the tax collector stood at a distance, and he would not even look up to heaven, but beat his breast and said, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. I tell you that this man, rather than the other, went home justified before God. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. So, one last thing I was going to bring up before Keri gets out, because I think this was my favorite tweet of the day. This was Tugs, actually. Tugs, demons calling their boss right now after seeing this memorial service. And then it's,
Fucked up.
Yeah. I like that one. I thought that
I'm
one
pretty
was,
sure that's the leftists right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that too. So, Keri, what do you got coming up?
I just wanted to give an example just quickly of the kind of murder that I'm talking about that shouldn't be released. Sheila Keen. Do you guys know this case? She was just recently.
Can you say the name again?
Sheila Keen. So this woman, this hussy, she was having an affair with a married man in the 80s. She worked for him at a car dealership. She dressed up like a clown, went to his door, took out a gun, and shot and killed his wife. And witnesses reported seeing a clown. Like, it was all very but it was big in the local news at the time. They did not catch her. That was in 1990. Everyone thought it was her. The police fumbled the case. The husband had knowledge. They eventually brought charges against her. It was one of these cold cases where they finally convicted this woman, who, by the way, married the husband of the woman she killed. And they got to live this whole life together. And then they brought charges against her. I think it was like 2021 or something. So she was convicted. They gave her 12 years, second-degree murder. Murder, not manslaughter, murder. Gave her 12 years, let her go in 18 months. Said,
What?
Hey, yeah, good behavior, we're letting you out. It's not enough that you got to live pretty much your whole life into old age after having murdered this woman so you could take her husband. But then once we do convict you, we're only going to hold you for 18 months. And they said she was, she was just great behind bars. She was just an example, and she had turned her life over to God. She pled guilty, by the way, to second-degree murder. They let this woman out. That happens far too often. And that's just one case off the top of my head. There's no way, like, society is not safe. You've already demonstrated you can't be trusted, and it doesn't matter who's forgiven you. Society's not safe, and you don't deserve. You've lost the privilege to walk around amongst us. That's the way I view it.
Why even do the 12 years if you're going to let them out in 18 months?
Exactly. Like with the possibility of parole if you have good behavior, that's just ridiculous.
Why let a guy out 14 times so he can stab some girl on a bus?
I
Because they want the
Chaos is the
devolving
goal.
of the country.
Right. Yeah. The issue isn't the law; is like how it's being implemented. You know what I mean? Is because there's so much. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have discretion in the court system, but it's to the point to where the minimum maximum thing doesn't really work anymore. If you're finding ways to get them out, and like prison overpopulation and all these other different little catches that they have to let people out way before they ever deserve it.
As much as the 3 strikes law was not popular in some areas,
Should come back.
Starting to feel like it should be back.
To be back.
We may need to knock it down to 2.
It was one of the fairest compromises that actually made truly beneficial results that society ever saw.
Yes.
The problem with 3 strikes that they were like, we're going to have an over incarceration problem. It seems like 3 strikes created a proper incarceration problem, like where you genuinely created a system that removed the 10% recidivist population out of the environment, and crime rate, because this is the interesting thing. The 3 strikes laws being passed also corresponded with the original assault weapons ban that was passed federally. And they always, the Democrats will always be like, our crime rate was, and violence was much lower during the assault weapon ban. And then they leave off the part where after the assault weapons ban expired, the crime rate continued to go down until they got all the rescissions of the 3 strikes laws. And then all of a sudden the crime rate starts spiraling out of control again. Because what they did is they genuinely removed those offenders from the street, and it was creating a safer world.
Yes. Yes.
And and now they it's the same way that, as bad as they were and as much of a needed reform as they were, having mental institutions for the genuinely criminally insane, the schizophrenics, the people who will push people into trains that will light them on fire on subways, they are not capable of functioning in reality in
civilized society.
And if they don't have the structure around them to moderate them and to actually control that from happening, then there should be somewhere that they can go
and
to
there's
receive that help.
And there's so many examples of people who with proper medication can control their psychosis to a reasonable degree.
Right.
And when left to their own devices, they routinely, statistically decide, I'm feeling better. I'm going to stop my meds now because I'm better.
I'm getting off the meds because I seem to be fixed.
Yeah.
And if there's nobody around to be like, why do you think that is, dum-dum?
Yeah. So.
And there's like the guy who killed Irina Zarutska. He had called the reason he got a violation for calling 911 was because he had some interaction with the police. He had many interactions with police, but there was one where he told them that he was hearing voices, and that he was being controlled by man-made objects, and they didn't do anything. And he called 911 after that to ask for help. I mean, he basically was like, I'm being controlled by someone. Can you help me? And what are they going to do? It's not, he hasn't at that point committed a crime. Like that's exactly the kind of guy. If you listen to what his mom talked about, how he was so mentally deranged, like that's the kind of guy that needs to be
Sociopath.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but
So,
he needs to be
You don't wait for the
institutionalized or
sociopath to commit the crime. I mean, and when he has committed 14 crimes, maybe get him off the streets then.
Yeah.
Now, Toxic Man Flu, 3 strikes laws were heavily weighted towards specific drugs and crimes. Yes, they were weighted towards felonies. If you were convicted of 3 felonies, you went to jail for life, and it worked really well. So I don't care what your felony convictions were coming from, and I think the routine argument about that is, well, they routinely made crack possession a felony, but they didn't do it for cocaine because that was a white person drug and not, crack cocaine and the distribution of it was felonious. And if you were doing that with cocaine, they would probably do it too. Felonies.
But Hunter said that crack is better for you than cocaine.
Crack is whack, to quote Whitney.
I think it depends on the cook.
Yeah, so 3 felony convictions is more than fair. The odds of you being railroaded 3 times, is very infinitesimal. Like,
I mean, Mad looked for, 3rd strikes, but I mean, that was Mad.
I would love to see an example like the Innocence Project likes to trot out people who were wrongfully convicted of heinous crimes and got long sentence, but they were individual crimes. Show me the example of a 3-time felonious convict where you can tell me that 3 times they were set up, like, like to quote Marion Barry, bitch set me up, when he was convicted of crack possession and then went on to be reelected mayor of Washington, D.C.
Right. Like, look, putting 3 minutes on the microwave doesn't make you a chemist.
Exactly. So, yeah, 3 strikes.
All right.
I would,
That's a crap
federal.
reference.
They should do. I don't know if you legally, if you could make it a federal 3 strike, where if they're convicted of 3 felonies in any state, you could just put them in federal jail forever. That would
be different though, because the state would be charging for the felony. It would have to be under the USC for the federal.
I wouldn't think that would work. But let's let Keri get out of here because she's got an early morning.
Thank you guys. You can find me.
great seeing you, Keri.
Good to see all you guys. Have a good night.
Good seeing you, Keri.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it was great to have you on.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to bail at midnight, so I got like another 19 minutes.
You're welcome back to our show anytime. She's already gone.
Yeah, she's already gone.
She left before you could suck up. So, should we hit on Kimmel a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
And remember,
what
chat,
happened.
you're so close to the $200 goal to get Mad removed as a co-host.
Wait, does it count
Keep
if I'm
doing it.
still here?
Yes.
Wait, if I'm not here?
Yes, it applies regardless.
Yeah.
Whether you're here or you're not here,
Man, this better not roll over to next week.
So, Kimmel's been suspended, which likely ends up meaning fired. The left has gone completely insane in a way that they didn't over somebody being actually shot. We've had all kinds of celebrities come out and everybody's siding with Kimmel, and Trump's FCC called to get Kimmel taken off the air. Reality, the show was doing very poorly. He said something stupid that pissed off 50% of the country, and the advertisers started calling the local stations and saying, you better preempt it because we're not going to pay. And then what were the 2 companies? It's not
Sinclair
and Nexstar.
They basically had a talk with Disney and ABC and said, yeah, you're going to have to do something about this because we're not going to air him.
Back. He will be back. The question is whether Sinclair and Nexstar are going to put him back on. Their demand, specifically Sinclair's demand, is that Kimmel has to do an on-air apology and has to make basically a massive donation to Turning Point.
And the reason Disney and ABC actually took action as quick as they did was because
your
the
speculation,
second day,
or is that what they actually said?
This is the
that was the demands that were made.
Yeah, I believe it might have been in Deadline where they were reporting.
And part of the reason that he was actually suspended is because he said, yeah, screw that, I'm going to double down.
Yeah.
So
Well-
then they said, okay, then you're not going back on the air tonight.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about it is that, and like this is reported in Mediaite, this is reported in the Hollywood Reporter. We know exactly why he was suspended, and of course, it's big spun. Oh, it was the FCC, the FCC, Trump, fascism,
Because the
fascism.
FCC chairman was on Benny Johnson's show earlier, and Benny asked him a question about Kimmel's statements. And the guy basically said, I don't know, we can look into it. I have no idea. I don't know the exact thing that he said, but it was basically just, yeah, sure, we can look into it, that kind of thing.
Well, and a lot of it too, it does feel like what's happening is they're trying to suck attention away from Charlie Kirk's assassination and put it, direct that attention to Jimmy Kimmel. It all comes off as being very petty and dirty, in my opinion. But
yeah, but let's also remember all the cancellations and things that have happened over the past few years.
Well,
when, the left was in
Tucker
charge.
Carlson.
Roseanne, Tucker, Megyn Kelly, everybody who lost their jobs over the vax, people who lost YouTube channels over election and COVID information.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing this a long time. One of theirs went down, and they don't like it.
well, it's because they're used to canceling people that are to the right of Stalin, right? I mean, let's be honest. And this is part of the whole issue with their arrogance, thinking that it would never be turned on them. Despite the fact, this is the funny part, the first real cancellation that I think most people can point to, if they're paying attention, happened years ago with this one woman who got on a plane. She was heading to Africa. She tweeted, "I hope I don't get AIDS. Haha, never mind. I'm white." And she was making a leftist argument. I'm not going to say leftist, but she was making a liberal argument of, in Africa, typically black people get AIDS, not necessarily white people. And she got canceled as a result of that.
Well, even before that, Don Imus.
Yeah. I mean, you had Don Imus, but I would say that's
think
where cancel. I mean, you could really say.
What was it, the rodeo clown that wore the Obama mask was like the first instance I remember where that guy didn't even he was purely
wore the Obama mask.
Yeah, where he was purely a private citizen. Nobody knew who the hell he was. They put that shit online. It wasn't. I don't even think it was really when social media was huge. It was maybe Facebook. It went viral, and they hunted that guy down, found him, got him fired. No forgiveness.
When was Imus fired? Because I want to say that with this lady, it was like 2013.
When he described the
the
hairstyle of the basketball players who engaged in a world's
Rutgers.
oldest profession. It was the Rutgers girls.
Don Imus
Never-headed
was
hose.
fired in 2007, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was before.
Because I remember Patrice O'Neill came out defending him, which was great.
I believe Patrice was like, "Them girls were."
Yeah,
but I've got a very relevant example that has been shared and brought up, which is Douglas McKay, who was also known as Ricky Vaughn online.
Go for it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, this is in response. Hillary Clinton, as being one of them, was like, "Jimmy Kimmel and other late night comedians have certainly said things about me I found outrageous," but she's like, "It never crossed my line to call up the FCC and demand it." To which Douglas McKay says, "Madam Secretary, it crossed your mind to call up Senator Klobuchar, the FBI, the DOJ, and have me arrested for a meme about your campaign. You then celebrated my unlawful and wrongful conviction, which was later overturned by a federal appeals court. Sit down."
Is this the guy that posted the meme?
Yeah, so he was. At the time he was known as Ricky Vaughn, and I'm trying to find if he has it listed anywhere where he actually shows the meme, because all it was a joke meme about, "Hey, go vote."
On this date.
Vote on this date or vote via text. And it was stupid and ridiculous.
He said
and,
Wednesday instead of Tuesday. Don't forget, Wednesday's election day. Get your vote in.
And when they were
Something like
doing
that.
the trial, he pulled up they wouldn't allow him to post examples of left-wing people who supported Hillary doing the exact same meme, who were not in any way being brought to trial.
But that's not pertinent here, even though it's the exact same thing, just from the other side.
That's
And
what aboutism.
I do appreciate that one of the things that the Charlie Kirk situation has done is it has brought Milo Yiannopoulos back.
Oh boy,
because he's.
I'm not sure I appreciate.
I find him funny. I find him.
Yeah,
hilarious.
I find him funny.
Back in like 2016, I found him funny. but-
Absolutely. That's when
That's when
I
he was.
started
That's when he
going
was really funny. But
Yeah, he's
now
still-
I just find him fucking obnoxious. And
I
I
think
don't
he was
know.
the start of my pipeline into the conservative side.
I mean, do you not find this one funny?
Oh, I found the tweets funny. I think of Milo, well, not in the same way.
He
but
bugged
the
out.
way he goes about things is very Alex Steiny to me.
Yeah, which
and I
is
like
fine,
Alex
yeah.
a lot.
I
so
find him, yeah.
I appreciate what he does.
yeah. I was trying to think of the other thing I was going.
Still a
to
little
bring up.
upset that he blew us off for our Dallas bro.
Well, he
over.
wasn't even in the state, so
I don't see the relevance.
The only other thing I wanted to hit, and then Chad, if you can pull up the memes. So Canada, Australia, I can't remember who else. There were 4 countries that officially recognized the state of Palestine today. So, I mean, since we kind of cover everything, figured we should at least mention that because it's so far I haven't seen it getting a whole lot of coverage. I've seen a little bit on Twitter, but yeah, we're now calling Palestine a state in certain areas, including Canada and Australia.
I believe France is going to recognize them in the next week. I know England is playing it. Basically, 3 out of the 5 Eyes nations, I think New Zealand, France, and England. For people who don't know, 5 Eyes is the United States, United Kingdom, France, New Zealand for some reason, and Australia have a intelligence sharing agreement. This is one of the reasons why Crossfire Hurricane originated out of the London office and was based on UK intelligence, quote unquote. It's because we have a joint sharing agreement. So 3 of those nations, and that's why they were specifically targeted to be the ones to recognize the Palestinian statehood, because it's going to, they technically would be able to start giving Palestinian representatives some information, and it's not going so it's going to cause a wedge between the Trump administration and the current ones, and because they want to be able to attack the Trump administration for removing intelligence safeguards and sharing with our allies, and they're not going to, it's designed to be a wedge issue with Trump because they like to go after Trump as being reckless with foreign policy and intelligence. So just keep an eye out for that.
I think what Trump needs to do is recognize Taiwan as a country.
That would be Chinese Taipei.
Ooh,
Yes, it would be Chinese Taipei.
That would be big.
If they did that, look, the first thing he needs to do is fucking wreck the H-1B1 situation.
No, I agree with that.
Because then India, then we'll be fine. I'll pull up. Yeah, so I'm pulling up the memes. I know I'm
Cool. And yeah, I saw a few people say that they needed to rewind and watch the beginning of the stream. Yeah, I mean, we did actually cover the memorial for the at least the first hour with some clips. So if you were interested in that take, that was a lot of it in the first hour.
Also, don't worry, I was here the whole time, so you don't have to get fast forwarding for my parts.
Chill out. Matt was here the whole time.
all right.
You get, I'm getting ready to call it a night. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, we all are. We're just
Yeah,
doing
right.
the memes real quick, and then we're
Here's
getting
some
out.
Memes from Deeple. When Democrats win, we will cancel you, so nothing has changed. And then, of course, getting angry. If we divide 123 genders by white supremacy, how much climate change do we have? Somebody missed out. They should have used Scotty Steiner for this meme.
Yeah, but even though his math checked out though.
Big Papa Pump.
Yep. Big booty
Make
daddy.
America, here you go. Make America great again. And then each one of these medals keeps saying, "Got what I voted for again." Award. All right. Protesters tossed JD Vance around at the Stop Trump protest in Parliament Square, London. The left thinking they're trolling the right. The right upset that they don't have a JD Vance ball.
It's pretty cool, man. And JD's the kind of guy that would embrace it, which is what you should do. Just like what Charlie did with the South Park thing.
Yeah.
He 100% embraced it. It was just like, yeah, man, that's awesome. I think JD would do the same thing because that's funny.
I think I saw somebody already joke that JD Vance is going to have these at every one of his campaign rallies when
He
he's
should.
running.
Yeah.
And that's how they're going to warm up the crowds. They're just going to be tossing them around. Then we got some more. People should get shot for their opinions as one button, and I shouldn't get fired for my opinions as the other.
Yeah.
With the blue hair. Saying distasteful things about Charlie Kirk, and Jimmy Kimmel being the moth
to a flame.
Yeah. This is your butthole. This is your butthole in prison. Don't shoplift.
I'll be honest. The fear of that happening has kept me from committing so many crimes.
Yeah, instead you just do it at the bro over.
What, the crime or the? We can move on.
You don't
know the penalty.
You definitely did a prison style.
Quarter
There
Black
you go.
was awake for most of it.
Most of it.
What?
Oh, don't even act like you weren't the bottom.
Oh shit, motherfucker! You don't know me.
He sings his theme song. Remember?
Right. I've already been made aware that this is artificial and AI, which was disappointing. But two big reasons I'm suddenly interested in UK politics.
Yeah, I know. I would be too.
Yeah.
Damn it, AI! You ruined it again.
Did you see what they did to how dare you, whoever the fuck that is?
Greta.
Yeah.
Well, they gave her like a giant set.
Yeah.
Southern Belle said she did one on yours, Chad.
Okay, let me go for it. I'll find it.
While he's getting that one, Comix, what do you got coming up?
You caught me right in the middle of yawning. I'm getting ready for bed. That's what I got coming up. Yeah, I'm making a concerted effort to get up earlier in the morning to record videos before work. So I'll
Just
probably
not
have
on
to-
Mondays now, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, I if I can go to bed by at least 11, I could get up at 6. It is past 11, so I'm like, not this week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm definitely going to be shooting for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for making videos. So we'll see. We shall see. I can keep it up.
Here's the other meme we were sent, which I guess is
Oh yeah, the bagpipes and Elon and Trump.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, this week should hopefully be interesting. I'm glad Alien Earth is almost over. Oh my god, that show.
Oh my
is so
god,
stupid.
It's so bad.
It's turned into the fucking Alien Whisperer. Was that Chad?
I was saying he's watched all of Alien Earth so far, but he hasn't watched anything of The Sopranos.
I said I watched the intro.
No, you said you couldn't get through the intro.
Okay, I said I started the intro.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure there will be something to talk about this week. Probably more Kimmel stuff. Who knows? Who knows what the backlash of the week is? I think it's funny that you have all these leftists that are canceling Disney Plus in droves right now. Not just probably leftists, probably people just on the left in general.
I think they lost almost $4 billion in market share.
Yeah, it's fucking beautiful, man. It's like it just goes to show you that nobody can tear down your side like your own side. And since Disney has gone full leftist, yeah, I mean, sure, we could put a dent in their bottom line because of what happened with Gina and the fact that they made shitty TV shows, but holy fuck, dude, you do a little bit of course correction and the fucking leftists put on their jackboots and they'll come for you, man. It's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Love seeing it.
Yep. Mad? What are we talking about on Tuesday?
Tuesday, we're going to be talking about Wills and Burks, 2 more Australian explorers. And this time it doesn't go well for them or the camels.
Oh man, are you gonna treat them like Quarter Black?
I'm not gonna treat the wait, the camels?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna fuck the camels. Well, hold on.
Well,
I have to go back over the story.
you'd have
Maybe
to be
I
pretty
can't
tall.
remember.
I was about to say you said that it ended badly for the camels. I mean,
But that will be on Tuesday, 9:15 p.m. Central on Matt's new channel. Where you can find all of our MadEPAPs.
Nice. Chad?
and zero misogyny.
Zero.
It doesn't exist
We try
but-
on the new
Tons
channel.
of misandry.
So you can find me and most of the same people here, except for Comix, except on my birthday, he can't show up for it, on the Ascendant Art podcast, Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern. I think this week we'll be doing a fall movie preview because it's a slow week for pop culture, and I don't want to talk about Alien Earth because it's a piece of shit show, so we're not going to talk about it. Probably got some gaming news, fun stuff, just hanging out, probably trivia. At some point, Script Doctor is going to be coming and hanging out in the next few weeks too. Oh, Matt, by the way, he says you never talk to him, so how can you be mad that you're never on his shows? So if you want to do stuff with him, actually talk to him.
Wow,
I miss
fine.
Script
I
Doctor.
will.
That dude's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
What, the
All right.
Doctor of Scripts? Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, Friday 9 p.m. Eastern, Ascendant Art podcast. If you can drop a sub, it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to click the bell for notifications, but it would really be awesome if we could get.
You
some
have to
more
click
subs.
the bell on mine, though.
Do you?
Yeah, why not?
There you go. All right, so that's the
That way
last
you
plug.
know. That way you know that Tuesday night, every Tuesday night at 9:15 Central, he goes live.
True.
Because it's, well, I guess there's speakeasies every now and then.
Well, it is the most it's the guaranteed consistent.
Guaranteed.
It's the flagship of his new channel.
Yeah,
For real,
'cause
for
the
real,
Friday,
no cap.
The Friday thing is a bit hit and miss.
You mean Matt and Barbara in the morning at noon?
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot about it completely this last Friday.
Just last Friday?
Well, the other ones, look, man,
No,
it's
other
all going to be
times he
fixed.
hasn't been able to.
Yeah, it's all going to be fixed next month. Taking a trip.
You stopping by here on the way?
Here, where?
Is it even on the way? Do you know where?
Yeah,
directions
what
were?
mountain? I'm not
You
going
can
to
figure out a way
climb
to
up a
get
mountain
through here to get there.
My way.
Why would you go west to go northeast?
Because then you could stop here.
All right, gents, I need to drop. Have a good one,
Yeah,
everyone.
no problem.
See you guys later, Comics.
Bye.
As for me, I'll be on with Comix, then I'll be on with Mad, then I'll be on with Comix again, then I'll be on with Chad. And then Saturdays, Bourbon and Boarding should be coming back soon because preseason has started and we've got to do our fantasy draft for the NHL season. And then we get going like in maybe 2.5, 3 weeks, something like that. I think it's less than 3 weeks. So yeah, we'll
And it's a
bring back Bourbon and
long
Boarding
season.
on Saturdays.
Right.
And
A
then
never-ending season that will go through June of next year.
yes, and we may switch it. I've got to talk to 70s. We may switch it to an every other week show because I don't know that I can make it through another 9-month season. But then we'll be back here for the bullpen next Sunday.
How come
so,
you and 70s don't do a WNBA show?
because then we would have to watch clips of the WNBA, and nobody wants that.
I couldn't even keep from laughing asking that question for more than 2 seconds. Sorry. It's just a joke.
82 game season, Nick. So
And then
I would like
playoffs.
to thank everybody for the super chats. Thank you, Darren M, for dropping all the links to everybody's shows tonight. I did update the credits. I did not get the avatars in there, but now it's just a list so that we could actually get it put up there. So we'll play those out and hope you guys have a great week. Catch you later.
Bye, everybody. Is this the song we're supposed to talk over?
Yeah.
Wait, can they still
It's
hear
the
us?
one we
'Cause
always talk over.
I was about to
Yeah.
start talking about where you live. So I just looked it up on the map.
It's
From where
only a
I'm
few
at.
100 miles out of the way.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's all the way to the left. It's like 12 hours, and then 18 hours to the other place I'm going.
John Wayne subscribes to you? That's awesome.
I know.
I thought he was dead.
Man,
Well, Me and
I
him
follow
with the
him on
Cowboy
Twitter.
Killers. Oh, I was going to bring that up. If anybody out there is a fan of golf, go follow Phil Mickelson on Twitter. He has been going off on the lefties. It's been fantastic. I have never seen a golfer put himself so far out there on the political stuff. So go give him a follow. It's great.
When are we gonna play golf, bro? I asked the other night.
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
man, we could probably do 18 before you go play with whatever.
Mario
And
Golf?
then I wasn't able to play with them. Now we both have
Mario Golf is actually a. Why am I Lily?
I don't know. That's how I put it into the
Chad?
spreadsheet.
From now on, that's how you should have it all the time. That's your new name is Lily 1/4 Chad.
That's because you did it as a spreadsheet. If you're doing Excel, you have to put the open, the apostrophe
Nerd.
first to designate that cell as a non-formatted cell, and it'll
Yeah,
just
I was
display
doing
what you
it.
type.
I was doing it 5 minutes after the show was supposed to be started, so I did not go through and edit all that much. But
I'm so glad you two waited until the end to do all the Excel talk.
Do you know that there is an NIL-sponsored national championship Excel team at Tennessee?
What does that even mean?
Yes. That means they get NIL
they
sponsorship
get
money,
sponsorships
and they are
for doing
Excel spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets?
Yes, there's a national championship
writing
for
formulas and
spreadsheets.
stuff for Excel.
And they got those assholes are getting paid.
Okay, it's not that weird. I was
All
on
right,
the
guys.
I was in the grass judging team in high
Overtime
school.
over. See you guys later.
You don't want to hear
Bye,
about grass
everybody.
judging?